Welcome to the RPG Talk Show. My name is Daniel Ivey, and this is...
John Welker, Vice President of RPG Research. We are a 501c3 nonprofit organization dedicated to the research and development of role-playing games in all formats and genres for all players.
Yes. And we utilize this research to achieve recreational, leisure, educational, and therapeutic goals.
Today's main topic will be genre and embedded topics, the topics that are embedded in the genre, aka themes.
Yeah.
And for just talking, we will be discussing healing.
Yes.
Later on, we will do
Unboxing.
And the unboxing will actually comes in with the healing stuff.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I'll explain that later.
Okay.
Plus, we'll be doing our monthly unboxing of a loot crate.
Yes. And I believe we're going to have more traps and riddles?
Yes, we should have traps and riddles in the third segment. By the way, the unboxing books are from Hunter's Entertainment, Natural World Library.
Okay.
I have the first two. The third one is out on pre-order. And I can and I'll tell you at the next section what the fourth book will be.
Okay, and I think I have an idea of those, but we'll get into that during the unboxing.
Yes.
But you said that for just chatting, you wanted to talk about healing.
Well, yes. Dungeons and Dragons uses hit points.
Yes, it does.
And that's called an ablative hit point system. It's a numerical pool that depletes with damage.
Yeah.
I got 5 hit points. I get hit for 3. I now have 2.
Yeah, and that's the specific abstraction that they're using.
Yep. Now, this is attrition-based. Games like Dungeons and Dragons or older Final Fantasy titles. And it's a scarce resource to be managed over time.
Yeah.
Players decide between using spell pots or potions and everything in order to...
Yeah, it's honestly, I feel hit point and hit point tracking is so ubiquitous for not just role-playing games, but so many other games. I feel like most people think of it as the default. It is the default.
Yeah, if you look at video games, you're using hit points regardless of whether or not you see them.
Yeah.
If it's a health bar or a heart, or you don't see them at all.
Yeah.
You're dealing with hit points. Because it's so much easier than other systems.
And it's a lot less punishing than, oh, you get hit once, you lose a life. A la, Super Mario Brothers.
Yeah, and it's very action-oriented. It's rapid. Modern titles like Xenoblade Chronicles often restore hit points after every battle. While in Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition, we get all our hit points magically with a night's sleep.
Yeah, and I know that I have a problem with that. You have a problem with that. I know Hawk has a huge problem with that.
Yeah. Oh, one of the it feels. I tried to introduce the gritty system.
Yeah.
To make the hit points a little more meaningful and the damage you take more meaningful, but then I ended up with a party with let's see, we have 6 players, right? And I would say 4 out of 6 players are healers.
So we've got 2 paladins, the turtle, and me that are all healers.
Yes.
Yeah.
Then the only thing left is a sorcerer and a rogue, and they have healing potions.
Yeah. Although, admittedly, I wasn't thinking, oh, I'm going to be the healer of the party. The character concept behind Krita is that she is mixing death and life.
Right, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, all the characters make sense.
Yeah.
But it is a pretty good tell that when I say we're going to do a gritty system, it's going to be harder to survive. Damage takes over time. Nope. Everybody's going to be a healer. In fact, you know what they named the party before you joined?
What?
The Amen.
Amen. Oh, jeez. Like, I can only address my character designs, and Krito is going to be Krito no matter what.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So before you join, you got to realize that 4 out of 5
3 out of 5, because I'm one of the healers.
Yeah. So 3 out of 5 players were healers.
Yeah.
It was, yeah. I'm going to do a survival exploration and so we're going to create characters that just counter all of that.
Yeah. Now, I know that, and I haven't really addressed it to you when I was going through it, but it was primarily when we were running through all the, what is it? All the dinosaurs before we got to Far Shore. I'd actually run out of hit dice to heal myself with.
Yeah. But that was a very rare incident. There's so many healers.
Well, the thing is, we also weren't getting our spell slots back on what we consider a long rest. We weren't allowed a long rest until we got into town.
And which was the only thing keeping the gritty alive.
Yeah. I mean, I have my own feeling on how gritty should be done. You're doing it to, has to be in a what is it? In some type of secure facility, like a town or whatnot. I believe, and this is something
and you have to be there for a week.
Yeah.
to get a long rest for healing purposes.
I feel like for me, saying like, "Oh, you're going to be down for a week," it is both unimpactful and too impactful at the same time. Where it's like, okay, it's a week. It's either going to zip by, or nothing's going to happen.
Well, that's for natural healing.
Yeah.
And we don't have any natural healing.
Yeah. So I believe I presented you this idea before, but I might as well get it out on the air.
Yeah.
I've had an idea of how to address the natural healing because one, I absolutely dislike you get a long rest, all of your hit points come back. I would completely get rid of that. I would say if your hit points get back, it's because you're using hit dice. And then I change how many hit dice you get back per long rest. So
it's supposed to be half.
It's supposed to be half. I'm going to reduce that. I would say you get your proficiency bonus in hit dice back. At low levels, that's quite impactful because you're getting all of your hit dice back. By second level, you're okay, all of your hit dice are back. But when you get to I'm like 10th level?
Yeah.
And I've only got a proficiency bonus of 4. After a long rest, I'm only getting 4 hit dice back.
So that starts impacting you at 5.
Yeah.
5th level.
Well.
5th level, you got 3.
Yeah. I'm still... It really starts slowing down the higher levels you go. And you can't just like, oh, we're going to rest and... Okay, I use all my hit dice to heal because I'm out of I don't want to use the spells. If I have to rely on natural healing, it makes the choice of what natural healing you're using, I feel a lot more impactful because you're not getting half of your full hit dice back.
Also, you don't get to use certain tools such as herbalism.
Right.
Or even when people do herbalism, mostly in Dungeons & Dragons, it is, I gather herbs. Generic.
Why? Yeah, but why? Why are you doing that?
Because I have so many herbs, I can make healing potions. What herbs are you using in your healing potion? I don't know. Don't care.
Don't care. Yeah.
So there are other systems, of course. There is the wound and injury system.
Yeah.
These thresholds and penalties. Games like Savage Worlds or Vastin use wound levels instead of hit point. Taking a wound off will imposes direct penalties to a character performance. One of the ones that we reviewed not too long ago, taking a wound is severe.
Yeah. I
think it was the Daggerheart has the wound. You don't actually, you take a little damage, you get too much damage, you actually take a wound. And You get there, and lower accuracy, lower movement, creating a death spiral where being hurt makes it harder to survive.
Yeah.
Slow recovery. Unlike magical HP recovery, wounds in these systems obviously take days or weeks in-game time to heal naturally. Look at Call of Cthulhu.
Yeah.
Call of Cthulhu is not only does it take you a long time, but you actively need medical care. You can't just say, well, I'll wait 5 days and my wound will be healed.
Yeah.
You have to actively treat the wound.
Yeah. No, I'm actually not too familiar with healing in Call of Cthulhu.
Because you don't live long enough.
Exactly. Exactly. So you said, how does that work? The healing, if you don't just outright die in Call of Cthulhu, how does that work?
Well, in Call of Cthulhu, you basically have hit points as well. But to gain those hit points back, you have to have a physician making a roll or a first aid roll, and then you get limited amount of hit points back. You get cut on the arm, then I wrap the bandage around it. Well, that's going to give you a hit point back.
Okay.
Because you're still wounded.
Yeah.
Then you get more hit points back if we actually do sewing. And, a little more advanced healing. Some things you're going to have to be in the hospital for a little while.
Okay.
You're not going to get that head injury cleared up by just sleeping it off.
Speaking of head injuries, and this is a question I've always had with the Call of Cthulhu, is there any way to recover sanity?
Yes!
Okay.
And guess how you recover sanity?
Please tell me you go to therapy.
You do. You do. To recover sanity, you go to therapy.
You go to therapy. Can you play a therapist in Call of Cthulhu?
Yes, you can. And you can even play, depending on the system, an alienist.
Okay.
Which is a precursor to psychologist.
Okay.
It is, in fact, in Cthulhu by Torchlight, it introduces the alienist as a subclass, I believe.
Okay. I just feel like if I'm playing a therapist in Call of Cthulhu, and right now I now have the idea of like, okay, I'm playing a therapist in Call of Cthulhu, I'm going to have one of the chairs that you lay down on, just on a dolly, is like, what's your equipment? Rolling this thing around. Lay down. We're going to talk about what's happened. How do you feel about your mother?
You know that you're going to get hit by a car the first time you have to cross the street.
Which is why I'm going to look left, I'm going to look right, I'm going to look left again.
And then get hit by a car.
No, I'm going to look right again because I don't trust you.
Because the car will fall out of space.
I'm going to look up. Where's the car?
So well, in the Call of Cthulhu game that we're going to play, playing a therapist is perfect because it's 1980s Japan. And there was a mental health crisis happening in 1980s Japan.
There's always a mental health crisis going in Japan.
Yeah, I think it's still carrying on. There was a definite isolationist problem. That people would go to school, go home, go to work, go home, or worse, go nowhere. They were shut-ins.
Yeah. There's still that issue.
Yeah.
I think they're called either NEETs or hibibikis or something like that.
Yeah, there's a word for it.
There's a word for it. There's a few words for it in Japan. My wife would know better because, she kind of sees herself as one already.
Well, yeah, I can see that.
Yeah.
So we also have hybrid and resource limited systems. Get healing searches. This was a 4th edition thing. It's a daily limit of how many times a character can be healed.
Yeah.
So I get in a fight 4 times, but I can only be healed 3 times. Even with a dedicated healer, a character who runs out of surges no longer benefits from healing spells.
Or healing potions.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No magical healing. Magical healing only works so long.
Mm-hmm.
Item-based recovery. Titles like Dark Souls use a specific rechargeable item, the Estus Flask.
Oh yeah.
This creates a checkpoint-to-checkpoint loop where players must reach the next safety zone before their limited heals run out.
That's the bonfires.
Yes.
So in a lot of Dark Souls, it's I actually like Dark Souls where the bonfires tend to be checkpoints. You rest there. This is where your Estus flasks can recharge. The Estus flasks are used if you've been hurt and you don't want to or don't feel like you can get back to the bonfire. Mind you, one of the great things about, or frustrating things about the Dark Souls is if you die, all of your XP, which you can only use at the bonfires, goes away.
Yeah.
And the only way that you can recover that is if you get back to where you just died.
Yeah.
If you die again, that's gone.
It's a bank system. When you go into play Dark Souls, you must go in that this game was designed to frustrate you.
To a certain degree, it's also one of those where, and this is one where I genuinely believe this statement about it. Dark Souls has a reputation of being difficult.
It is.
Yeah, it is difficult. It is also not unfair.
Well, I didn't say anything about being fair or unfair.
Yeah.
But it is designed to frustrate you.
It teaches. This is one of the things I like about.
Teaches grit.
It absolutely does.
Yeah.
And it doesn't do it in an unfair way because it starts off easy. Everything that you need to learn in Dark Souls, the game will teach you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So when you see videos of, for example, one character and he's playing, he's fighting the boss and he's rolling everywhere. Roll, 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 dodge, 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 dodge.
I was raised in the roll. Yeah.
Yeah. That isn't right at the beginning. You learn very quickly to get over the fact that you just died. In fact, I remember the first time I played Dark Souls, there's this massive creature twice my size, and I'm like, okay, I've heard the reputations, I'm going to sneak past it. It's going slowly, and right behind it, it immediately turns around, bites me in half, and then I get an achievement. The achievement was, welcome to Dark Souls.
Well, and it's a board game, the Dark Souls board game.
Oh, that idea terrifies me.
Yeah, it's either a board game or a role-playing game, but I'm pretty sure it's a board game.
Uh-huh.
And when you open the box, the first thing you see is a sheet of paper that says you've died.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You're dead from opening the box.
I feel like Dark Souls, the board game, would just be, you're playing shoots and ladders, but every shoot brings you right back to the beginning.
No, it shoots and ladders, but it's the Viking shoot that was depicted in a movie, which was just a big slide made out of a single blade.
Ow. 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 So
you get down to the first level again, but you got cut in half on the way down.
Yeah, and the first square is just like, you died.
Yeah.
So are there any other parts of healing?
Well, okay, gritty survival systems.
Yeah.
And tabletops.
We mentioned some of our ideas with that.
Right, but here's some games that have those gritty systems baked in. Twilight 2000.
Mm-hmm.
Post-apocalyptic system, the healing is slow and uncertain. It features detailed rules for medical triage, including the need for specific antibiotics, gram-negative versus gram-positive, and the risk of infection.
Yeah.
Not to mention radiation burns and...
being irradiated.
Yeah.
That is a game that I wish we would play more. I really want to get into Twilight 2000, but I like post-apocalyptic stuff. It is.
I like it because I get to use all the skills I have in real life.
Yeah. The couple of times I've played Twilight 2000, I very much loved it. I
We never gotten far.
Yeah, ever. I've never gotten far.
Because we don't play a campaign. We play a couple rounds just to train that we've done it.
Yeah, we played Twilight 2000. Like, I want to play a campaign of Twilight 2000. In fact, I want to learn Twilight 2000 so I can run a campaign because my wife loves post-apocalyptic stuff.
I think there's a campaign called Black Madonna. That may be a full campaign. Otherwise, I think it's just all scenario to scenario, and it can be very much done sandbox where there is no overarching plot.
Yeah. It's episodic at this point. Are you going to survive this episode?
Right.
Yeah.
And you might not survive the first episode.
Yeah, the opening of salvo for Twilight 2000 is, well, we were in World War III and things just went south. Survive the escape.
Burning Wheel. Fantasy game uses highly realistic wound system where injuries stack and impose direct penalties to your die rolls. Recovering is a long process that depends on a character's health stats and the quality of the medical care they receive. That's like the Call of Cthulhu stuff.
Yeah.
There's a big difference between first aid and a surgeon.
Yes. Yeah.
Savage Worlds, which is a very gritty damage, being typical to more pulp, using the gritty damage option, rules force players to roll for hit locations. A wound to the leg might leave you hobbled, and a wound to the head can cause permanent trauma or instant death. I had hit location dice. The best ones I had were 10-siders, because using the actual hit location chart that we use for real life medicine, it's like 9%, groin is 1%. It breaks it all down into percentages.
Okay.
And so,
yeah,
you get all those things. Realistic injury video games. Can you think of any?
Yes. And I believe it was a couple of weeks back I was telling you about there was this fighting game that I remember playing. And it came about after the craze of Mortal Kombat.
Right.
And the whole point of the game was that while fighting in this fighting game, you could lose limbs and keep on fighting. So, for example, you start off
as you're crawling along with no legs.
Possibly, yeah.
Yeah.
So you had head, you had 2 arms, and you had 2 legs, and every character was different, and they had different moves and whatnot. But if you lost a leg, your character's not hopping around. If you lost an arm, you only had that one punch. If you lost your head, you're dead.
I wonder why.
Yeah. And there was if you got someone stunned, there was a chance that you could use a move where, because it's an absolutely brutal and bloody game, where you could take off all 4 limbs and the head at the end mid-combat, so which would mean you didn't have to wait until the health bar got down. You could just execute them then.
Right.
Honestly, I can't remember the name of the game, though. All I remember is I played it in an arcade at a bowling alley.
Probably called Bowling Alley Death Match.
Wouldn't be surprised.
Okay, so here's some games for you. Metal Gear Solid.
Yeah.
3, Snake Eater. Famous for its cure menu, where you must manually treat injuries. You don't just heal, you must dig out bullets with a knife, apply disinfectant, suture the wound, and wrap it in bandages.
That sounds like Metal Gear Solid to me.
But guess what?
What?
Before that came out, there was a game called U.S. Army. This was a recruiting tool.
Yeah.
And I do believe it was an online game, so you could play with other people.
I think I remember that game, but I remember it primarily being a first-person shooter.
It is a first-person shooter, but you could play a medic. But if you want to play a medic, you have to take medical training in-game.
Yeah. I think this is when
And it was based on real world medical training.
Yeah, there was a couple of interesting things that came out of that. One, I had heard that they were doing that as an alternate way to try and train people, but they actually found that some people, this is one of those crowdsourcing things where when they put it out to the crowd, they found out that there were other solutions that they hadn't thought of, where they'd put people through, random people through different scenarios, and they'd come up with alternate solutions to these scenarios that they'd already thought, well, this is the best way to do it.
Right. And that's why open world games such as, well, it's not technically an open world game, but BG3, Baldur's Gate 3, is designed to come up with stupid solutions that work.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Okay, Project Zomboid features a deep medical system where you must treat scratches, lacerations, and deep wounds individually. Neglecting to change dirty bandages or disinfect a wound could lead to life-threatening infections unrelated to the zombie virus.
Unrelated to the zombie virus. Yeah.
Horizon Zero Dawn excuses a traditional magic for a healing pouch filled with herbs gathered from the world. Healing is a limited resource that requires a player to forage and prepare before heading into dangerous machines and territory. We're going to talk about herbalism a little bit more in the unboxing section, but like there is I don't know if it was called the One Ring. Oh no, it's MERPS, Middle Earth role-playing game.
Yeah.
There's a book called Hands of the Healer, which actually shows all kinds of different healing styles and which herbs you need to gather for which injuries. This herb is good for asthma.
Yeah.
This herb is good for joint pain. And where to find it and all that kind of stuff. So you can go deeper into these medical systems. I heard that there was a game. I should look it up. Medical procedural. RPG. There's I don't see. Oh, Phase Anatomy, a melodramatic medical mystery. There are medical RPGs. So there are, somebody says looking for medical-based / hospital-based RPGs.
Yeah, that's one I've been curious to look into.
One of them is The Ward. It's about playing a hospital drama TV show. So there are role-playing games that can be used for police procedurals and for medical procedurals.
Like, I knew about the police procedurals. That one's primarily darts.
Okay, so darts, or dart, there's no S on the end.
Oh, dart.
Is actually a role-playing game to train the police.
Yeah.
While Call of Cthulhu is a great, or I should say BRP, basic role-playing, is a great for doing realistic police procedurals. GURPS is good for police procedurals. In fact, they have resource books just for that. And then, as you said, DART, which is the official police role-playing game to train actual police. Medical Roleplay Guidebook. It's the Medical Role Player's Guidebook, a guide to designing and help beginner medical role players with zero knowledge learn about medical role play and honing skills to create most amazing for both the patient and themselves games such as Grand Theft Auto and others. Well, that's interesting. That's obviously for role-playing games.
Yeah.
But it gives you the the concepts of modern medicine. So, when you're looking at doing medical stuff, then you have an idea.
Mm-hmm.
That's a defibrillator. What's a defibrillator used for?
Clear.
Not anymore. Ah!
You put it in the wrong spot. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Horizon Zero Dawn. I already said that one.
Yeah.
So what else do we have? We have the death spiral mechanic.
Okay.
Natural healing systems often incorporate a death spiral, which differentiates from hit point-based games. Injury penalties, games like Vessin or Cyberpunk 2020, being hurt makes you worse at fighting, which in turn makes you more likely to get hurt.
Yeah.
Let's see how well you fight after I've dislocated your shoulder.
Mm-hmm.
And I know the results based on real-world application.
Yeah. You'd think that, dislocated shoulder will only affect that shoulder. It's like, no, everything's connected.
Well, and worse, the guy whose shoulder I dislocated actually got a 10% disability rating from the Army for that injury.
Yeah.
So the point is, that is a long-term injury.
Yeah, it is.
Attrition over attrition? That's not the right word. Instead of resetting after a fight, natural systems carry damage across multiple sessions. You might spend an entire adventure at managing a broken arm sustained in your very first encounter.
Yeah.
Which makes sense.
It does.
You can't sleep off a broken arm.
No, you can't.
You might not even be able to sleep with a broken arm.
I was able to sleep with 2 broken arms.
Good job.
Yeah. I slept like that.
Well, when I first broke my arm, I couldn't sleep because nobody believed me it was broken.
Uh-huh.
Then we got an x-ray, and then once I got a cast on, it was much easier to sleep.
Yeah. So, I actually had to, before we go much further, because I wanted to touch back on some of the criticism I have with Dungeons and Dragons.
Mm-hmm.
And we've talked about, the gritty system and whatnot. And kind of parallel to healing outside of hit points, I have an issue with, like, for example, the greater restoration, lesser restoration spells.
Yeah.
I don't think they're used all that often. I don't think I've ever seen them really used. And I did some research on them, and so lesser restoration uses is used to cure blindness, deafness, paralyzation, and poison.
Right, and most of those are the results of spells.
Yeah.
Some of them, like petrification and poison, can be monster inflicted.
Yeah. By the way, petrification is covered by greater restoration, and that does exhaustion, charmed, petrification, curses, ability damage, and HP maximum reduction. And here's the issue that I've had. I've seen those inflicted, but normally people can make the saves. It isn't like it's permanent. So I wanted to pitch an idea to you.
Okay.
Okay. So
and you wanting me to punish the Saturday group more?
I wouldn't mind it. Okay. So this is the idea. Although, you may not be able to use it because this is working off of crits and failures for saving throws.
Well, I also have the crit cards that occasionally give us specific hit locations.
Yeah, it does. So here's the idea. Okay. So lesser restoration does, and honestly, I kind of disagree that lesser restoration should cure paralyzed. I feel like that's too powerful a condition for lesser restoration. I feel like paralyzed should be switched out with the charmed condition from greater restoration, because charmed feels like it should be less
more minor than being paralyzed.
Right. So let's say we switch those two. Okay.
Okay.
We've got minor wounds and greater wounds, and these come about either by receiving a crit or rolling a 1 on a saving throw.
Versus damage causing spell.
Yeah. Anytime you take damage, if you rolled a 1 on the saving throw, this is pretty bad. And I figure, okay, you immediately get a condition and the exhausted condition. Okay, depending on how bad it is, and you have 3 instances to pass that saving throw. Kind of like that saving throw, just you're not dying, you're just confirming whether or not this is going to be a long-lasting affliction.
Mm-hmm.
And if you fail, you're not dead, but for example, you are now deafened until you can get lesser restoration.
And at the group's level right now, lesser restoration is candy.
Oh yeah, but now, well, okay.
It's not even penicillin, it's sweet tarts.
Yeah, I mean, it's lesser restoration is a second level spell. They can, I know that I can cast it 4 times per day,
Mm-hmm.
but that means I'm not using any other second level spells.
But
and that does
the need for lesser restoration is almost never going to be needed 4 times a day.
I know that, but I feel like it is. I feel it's a complication in the middle of combat where like the paladin, our paladin, you can barely hit him. He rolls a 1 or a few times and he gets crit, and now he's blinded. That's not he can recover with hit points. No, he's not blinded.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I feel like adding these conditions, could make combat more dynamic, because it's more than just like, I hit, I swing, I deal damage.
Is there a wound system in Dungeons and Dragons already?
I don't believe so. I don't believe so. I don't think I've ever come across it, because this is kind of an ongoing joke in Dungeons and Dragons. There's no rules for severed limbs, but there's a spell to recover them.
Yeah.
And that's regenerate. So I don't know if there's any...
Parapet of wound closure, but that's just healing.
Yeah, that's just healing.
So obviously the first 3 entries for the word wound is parapet to 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. 14 instances of parapet of wound closure.
Yeah.
Bearded Devil. If the target is a creature and doesn't already have an infernal wound, it's subject to the following effect. Constitution. Target receives an infernal wound. While wounded, the target loses hit points at the start of their turns.
Mm-hmm.
Horn Devil, Bearded Devil, Flying Wonder. That's using the word wound instead of wound.
Mm.
It's one of those words that, depending on how you pronounce it, it becomes a different thing.
Yeah. There's a couple of words like that in English.
Yeah. Chinese has the famous one, Mao, which, depending on how you pronounce it, is Chairman Mao.
Uh-huh.
Mao, the cat.
Uh-huh.
Mo, the cow.
Mm-hmm.
And it's the same exact spelling, the same symbols, but your pronunciation changes what it is.
Yeah. Although, from speaking of one of my favorite animes recently, and oddly enough connected to this main topic, Apothecary Diaries. Main character's name is Mao Mao.
Right.
And they eventually get a cat that they also name Mao Mao.
Let's see here. Under the phrase vampire infernalist, there's a quote that says, "Wound not my unbeating heart."
So I'm guessing that there isn't really any alternate wound system in Dungeons and Dragons that you're aware of.
I'm looking through, and sword of wounding. Start of each wound is turns it takes necrotic damage. Time is wound. No, there's not a wound system.
There's not a wound system.
Yeah.
I feel like
5th edition.
Yeah, I feel like adding some complications to the crits or failures, and make it I'm looking at lesser restoration. There's 4 options. Have the GM either roll or decide which ones make appropriate sense, because if you for example, take a sling to the head, I don't see how that could charm someone.
Well, yeah. Well, again, without hit locations, it's harder to do wounds.
Oh, I know better than to bring in hit locations into Dungeons and Dragons.
Well, we already have them.
Yeah.
From the crit hits thing.
And I remember call shots from 2nd edition.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because the Beholder, I obviously want to hit the eye.
Yeah.
The Vampire, I want to hit that heart. Because there are monsters that demand called shots.
Yeah. Which
aren't available anymore.
To a certain degree, yeah. I know that the Hydra, it's built in. But you have to do a certain amount of damage to lop off one of the heads, and that's the only time that we actually have rules for severed limbs. But I don't think you want to cast regeneration on the Hydra.
No, it already has it.
Yeah.
Wound systems for D&D 5e. There's a...
I wouldn't be surprised
Scars and wounds. Most major wounds can be healed through proper magical healing, such as heal spells by lost limbs can only be healed by regenerative spell. Now, I have seen modules where they introduce a specific wound. For example, you enter this contest, and if you lose, they chop off your hand.
Yeah, but that's plot-based.
It is plot-based.
Yeah.
But now you have to deal with the missing hand.
Yeah.
Which you get a hook or an automatic hand or some other things like that.
And it's honestly covered by, common magic items as well, where they have prosthetics now.
There is AI, because you always get an AI response now whenever you type in questions. To implement wound systems in D&D 5e, consider the following guidelines. Define the type of wound to determine if it's physical, magical, or environmental injury. Establish wound severity. Classify wounds as minor, moderate, or severe to affect gameplay. Create healing mechanics. Decide how players can heal wounds. Example spells, potions, rest. Introduce long-term effects. Consider penalties and conditions that persist until healed. Again, we try to do a gritty system, and we don't have any persistent anythings because we have more healers than anything else.
Yeah. Which is generally what I find when people are attacking one thing, you have to think laterally to really throw them off. Which is one of the reasons why I brought up less restoration, greater restoration, because that gets around okay, how many hit points you have.
Use role-playing opportunities to encourage players to describe their character's injuries and recovery. Balance gameplay. Ensure the wound system enhances the game without slowing down combat or exploration. I would go so far as almost not worrying about the wound during the fight, depending on the severity. If the wound is a missing limb, that's going to affect you immediately. Or a paralyzed limb, it's going to affect you immediately. But otherwise, some of the wounds you can fight through on the lower severities.
Well, I mean,
minor or moderate.
Well, me basing this off of lesser restoration being honestly minor wounds at this point, I feel being blinded in the middle of a fight is pretty severe, where you can't just fight through that.
Right. Well, you can fight through that.
Yeah.
But you immediately have the penalties for it.
Right.
Disadvantage on everything.
Well, not everything, but a significant amount of things. And you can describe it in different ways. Where okay, your eyes went cloudy, or you're deafened because now you've got severe tinnitus. And then you can make the Archer memes, or just mop, because in Archer, the cartoon, because they're all spies, they all have a ongoing joke of how often they get tinnitus, because guns are going off right by their ears.
What?
Huh? Yeah.
Yeah.
But Speaking of which, I think we're actually getting to the end of our just talking.
Okay, I will point out that on the internet there are things for introducing scars and wounds. In a wiki. There's an advanced injury system on the D&D wiki on the homebrew page for 5e variant rules that covers vitality, wounds, location injury, severity injuries, damage type, etc. But there is nothing official.
Yeah, there's nothing official. And I can understand why there'd be nothing official, but I would have kind of hoped that there would have been at least options in the Dungeons and DMG.
Oh, you know what? Speaking of which, one thing we didn't talk about in wound systems is also the difference in protection. In Dungeons and Dragons, it's an all or nothing. You either get hit or you don't get hit.
Yeah.
But if you get hit, there are no alterations to the damage.
You do know that you're summoning a hawk right now on Hackmaster.
I don't care. I dare him to show up. Anyways, so there's that, but there are other systems where armor makes it harder. No, doesn't make you harder to hit.
It just reduces armor. It just
reduces the damage.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I believe that was in Daggerheart.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's in a lot of systems of the other ones where, okay, not getting hit is based on my dexterity and skill level.
Yeah.
While reducing the damage is based on the type of armor I'm wearing. And the fact that, okay, I'm wearing light armor, I could be harder to hit than the guy in full plate.
Yeah.
But if I do get hit, I'm taking a lot more damage than that guy in plate.
Yeah, and this is all, when it comes to healing and damage and all of that, it's all, how do we abstract that? It's all an abstraction. And, what level of fantasy you're willing to deal with. Because ultimately we can't, I feel, completely and accurately replicate healing in a fantasy world based off of our real life because, well, our bodies are way more complex than just numbers and stats.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, and it does also matter what timeline you are in.
Yeah.
If you're playing a Call of Cthulhu game and you're going to have different healing levels in the Roman era than you are in a future era.
Yeah.
And when you are in a future era, some of the things that they're going to do for healing are going to be almost the equivalent of magical healing.
Yeah, but I'm talking about, like, for example, if you're playing any game, okay, what penalties would I have for having fibromyalgia?
Well, that depends on your pain tolerance,
right? Yeah, because
and whether or not you're on constant drugs.
Yeah, this is what I get into, where I do have a slight background in biology, where the human body, and honestly any organic body, is way more complicated than people give it credit for at times.
Well, which is why that some people have created medical procedurals as a role-playing game.
Oh yeah, I'm absolutely going to be looking into Ward. I want to see what they have for that.
Okay.
Yeah. So, what do we have next?
Well, next we will come back with our main topic, which is in genre and embedded topics, aka themes.
Yeah. So, after these messages, we'll be right back. Welcome back to the RPG Talk Show. We're going into our main topic, which is genre and their embedded topics or their embedded themes.
Okay.
Yeah.
And this one is one of your specialties, so you get to start it off.
Yeah, because one of the big things that I like talking about or like focusing on with honestly any role-playing game is the story and some of the building blocks of stories. One of them, honestly, being one of the foundational ones, is what genre are you playing in?
Right, and by genre we do mean things such as, is it a fantasy genre?
Yeah.
What kind of fantasy genre? Science fiction, Western, historical, horror, mystery, horror mysteries, horror mystery comedies.
Yeah. Now I feel like there's so many different ways that you can mix and match them that for simplicity's sake, it's easier to just go with a streamlined version and understand that you can do various iterations of them. For example, you can have your superhero westerns, your sci-fi fantasies, but if we can figure out what's going on with sci-fi, we can figure out what happens with sci-fi and fantasy, then the overlap is wherever they overlap.
Right.
Yeah. And
I'm looking forward. I've already seen my sci-fi western. I'm looking forward to seeing my sci-fi western fantasy.
okay. So, I was trying to figure out, okay, what are the... I don't want to get into the trappings of the genres. And by that, I mean, if we're doing a Western, oh, it's in the Wild West. The roads are dusty,
there has
tumbleweeds,
to be cattle.
and there has to be cattle. No, when I'm talking about genres, I'm talking about what gives you the feel of it. Because, yeah, you can have it's in the Wild West, and there are cowboys, and there's Indians, and now there's a spider train, and you've got none of the actual things about westerns that makes it feel Western, especially considering that you've got Will Smith and doing a rap song.
Okay.
Wild Wild West was not a Western.
I disagree. It was a steampunk western, but it was still definitely a western.
So
we had the saloons. We had
those are the trappings.
Right, but some of the trappings you have to call it those things. You can't have a fantasy. Well, you can't. Sci-fi. Well, you can't have sci-fi without electronics.
Right. So there are a couple of things like that, but I'll give you an example. There are, for me, and this is one of the reasons why I like going into westerns, because I have an interesting history with westerns. I used to not like them because I found most of them boring. And it wasn't until I realized that no, some of the themes going on in westerns are far more interesting than the trappings of a western. So, The Mandalorian is a western.
Right.
Logan is a western.
Logan with steel claws or Logan's Run?
Logan with steel claws.
Okay.
With the
Actually, wasn't it a bone claws at this point?
No, it was still steel claws.
Okay.
Yeah.
Adamantium claws.
Adamantium.
Who cares? It's just nerddom.
As long as it's not vibranium claws, I'm fine. Yeah.
Oh God, that'd be so bizarre.
I'm pretty sure someone's got an idea for that. But yeah, that was a western. And well, let's start off with westerns.
Okay.
So, westerns are novels that tell stories about cowboys, settlers, and outlaws exploring the western frontier and taming the American Old West. Those are the trappings. The themes: individual agency in the pursuit of justice.
Okay.
That has nothing to do with tumbleweeds.
Or asteroid-shaped tumbleweeds.
Right. Or spider mechs roving across the Wild West. Often set against vast, untamed landscapes that symbolize freedom and danger.
Just because now you have it stuck in my head, I would like to actually point out that Wild Wild West, while set in the West, is a steampunk spy.
I will give you that. It is not a Western.
Yeah, it's James Bond in the Wild West and steampunk stuff.
Yeah. And it uses these themes to resonate, offering narratives about moral resilience and personal integrity against chaos.
And grit.
Yeah. Those are the themes of Westerns.
Okay.
There's nothing about, okay, we're talking about prostitutes now. Yeah, we have prostitutes that deal with that, but no, we don't need the saloon, we don't need the the cows, we don't need the cattle, we don't need the trains.
Well, you know what? You're going to recognize this as soon as I say the tagline. Or not tagline. I guess it's called. You got to give that 30-second pitch, and you have to sum everything up into one show.
Yeah.
One thing. And a lot of them are like, oh, this is Buffy the Vampire Slayer with baseball bats. Or this is Buffy the Vampire Slayer set in ancient Rome.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever. They but some of them are, because it's a wholly original idea. You don't say it's this type of show versus that. Wagon Train to the Stars.
Wagon Train to the Stars. Isn't that isn't that Firefly?
No, it's Star Trek.
I can see that. But Firefly is a Western.
Firefly
is a Western.
It's a Western with the trappings.
Right.
Including cattle.
Including the cattle. Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, sometimes it is good to have some of those trappings, but...
And the prostitutes.
Yeah. But it doesn't mean that you have to, rely on those, because if we're going by Westerns, well, Kurosawa is, a lot of Westerns are based off of the Kurosawa movies, which are, your Ronin movies?
Yeah.
So a lot of the samurai movies are interchangeable with the themes of the Westerns.
Yeah. There was, I'm trying to remember which Western it is, but the Seven Samurai was done as Westerns.
Yeah.
And then Star Wars was done off The Fortress. It was a Japanese.
I know that. George Lucas did pull from a lot of samurai movies to do Star Wars.
Yeah.
It's also one of the reasons why you have the lightsabers.
Well, yeah, and their magic fighting system.
Yeah. So how does this, talking about Westerns as an example here, how does this relate to role-playing games? And I feel that setting up, when you're running the campaigns, setting up that you've got individual agency amidst chaos on the fringes of society, yeah, that's an entire campaign setting right there.
Oh, you mean like the Eberron Moorlands campaign?
Or Dark Sun.
Or Dark Sun.
Yeah.
The campaign I'm running, which blends with Cthulhu, so it's got a horror theme in there, post-apocalyptic theme.
Yeah.
But it definitely has a Wild West theme.
Right.
You got a frontier town with a sheriff.
How corrupt is the sheriff?
He's not.
He's not?
No.
Okay.
He's a lawful neutral warforged.
And
his name is Sheriff.
Okay. So, when it comes to Westerns, you have this dichotomy between individual freedom and morality choices, and the establishment, which may or may not have a lot of power, and what is the establishment doing with that power in terms of morality. There is that dichotomy, and when you're dealing with, our heroes here, well, a lot of times with, what's good versus evil? By the way, a lot of these tropes are going to be dealing with good versus evil.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And if some of them are going to be gray, shades of gray.
Yes.
I have seen plenty of Westerns, like Tombstone. There were no good people.
Right. That's one of the things about Westerns. It is very much gray. Tombstone is a wonderful example of there's no good people here.
Some of them are less evil than others.
Exactly. Exactly. But so going from Westerns, well, one of the classic ones in role-playing games is fantasy.
Yes.
So let's get into fantasy.
What kind of fantasy? High fantasy? Low fantasy?
No, just fantasy. Because
just plain fantasy.
Just plain fantasy.
Right.
Just plain fantasy. So fantasy novels are speculative fiction stories with imaginary characters that set in imaginary universes. They're inspired by mythology and folklore and often include elements of magic. So
Star Wars is a fantasy.
Yes, it is. It absolutely is. So those are the trappings. Themes now. The hero's journey.
Yes, that's hero's journey is the primary storyline through fantasy.
Yes. Good versus evil.
Yes.
In fact, I'm yet to see a hero's journey that didn't have good versus evil in it.
The Odyssey, the original hero's journey, could be argued it was good versus neutrality.
I'll give you the Odyssey. Yeah, that one slipped my mind, but, well, it's got Odysseus. He's a tricky one.
Yeah.
Yeah. Power and corruption.
Yes. But that's also themes of most genres.
Well, yeah, but it's very common in fantasy.
Yeah.
There's going to be a lot of overlaps, by the way.
Of course.
This is also one of the reasons why it is very easy to overlap some of these.
You can have prostitutes in sci-fi or Old West or Roman era or, well, come on. There's nothing that you can't add prostitutes.
It's the oldest profession in the world. Destiny versus free will.
That is a great one.
Yeah.
Look at The Witcher.
Mm-hmm.
The concept of you feel like you have free will, but it's still destiny.
Yeah.
Or am I going to break destiny? Have you been watching The Witcher? Have you watched?
I'm not. It is one where it's not high on my list to watch, especially considering there's so many things I need to watch.
Right. Okay, but so I won't be a spoiler to you.
No.
Spoiler warning to anybody who hasn't, or I would say intends to watch
The Witcher.
The 4th season of The Witcher.
Uh-huh. Does it still have Henry Cavill in it?
No.
Okay.
That's why I said intends to watch, because there are a bunch of
I know
people,
there's a lot of people who are just like, doesn't have Henry Cavill, not watching it anymore.
Yeah. I'm enjoying the 4th season. No, I rephrase that. I enjoyed the 4th season because I finished it.
Okay.
I'm waiting for the 5th season to come out. And yes, there has to be a 5th season.
Okay.
But one of the themes that is brought up in the 4th is, what if you have two contradictory destinies?
I've seen that before. And it's interesting watching that get navigated.
Yeah.
Because especially if you have, and in the middle, you've got one person who's just trying to, exercise his free will. Yeah.
They're, this person is this other person's destiny.
Mm-hmm.
They're tied by fate.
Uh-huh.
But that middle person is also tied to the other person by fate. Mm-hmm. And only one side's fate can come true.
No. I've seen. Okay, if we're dealing with the threads
in this particular scenario, only one.
Yeah. So I've seen. This is something I love watching. When you've got a plot where you're dealing with the threads of fate, and you talk about the sirens and whatnot, and the fates, who they have their threads, and they've made a Gordian knot of the threads of fate.
For the sake of the audience, explain the Gordian knot.
Okay, the Gordian knot is either historically, legitimate, or it's been inserted into our history. It is a knot that it was a fable that it could not be untied.
Okay, so
during Alexander the Great's time,
the explanation of the Gordian knot, though, is it wasn't just a tangle of rope.
Uh-huh.
So there was a time where knots were primitive locks.
Yeah.
And the more complex the knot, which of course the person who created it knows how to undo.
Uh-huh. Unless they forgot.
Well, if you forgot, then you probably shouldn't have relied on a knot.
Yeah.
But so they would have complex knots that only a few people should know how to open and put back together, so that the owner can at the very least see that his knot has been tampered with.
Yes.
So the Gordian knot was supposed to be a super complex, to the point that nobody knew how to open it anymore.
Yeah.
It's the person who created the Gordian knot had died a long time ago. And Alexander comes up, and he is tasked to solve the Gordian knot. Alexander the Great.
Yes.
So how did Alexander solve this knot?
He cut it.
Yeah. He didn't bother to try to untie it.
Yeah,
he just sliced it.
Right through it. So I like, outside of the, cutting of the knot, watching Gordian knots of, threads of fate, where, these seem to be contradictory, but watching how through nuance and flipping how things are seen, all the destinies come about.
Right.
When they seem contradictory. So that's destiny versus free will. Friendship and loyalty.
Yes.
That's another theme in fantasy.
Samwise.
Yeah. The entire fellowship is about friendship and loyalty. Even when they break apart, and the reason why, they don't follow the two halflings is because their loyalty says, we are going to trust them to do this. We've got other things that we have to do. Even us apart, the fellowship trusted each other.
And there is a very strong argument that Sam is the actual hero of the story.
Okay, I can absolutely see that.
Yeah.
I can absolutely see that.
He may not have been the main character, but he was the hero.
Oh yeah, there are so many heroes in Lord of the Rings.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I will not take it away from Frodo. But speaking of Frodo, sacrifice.
Yes.
That is a very common theme in fantasy. And last but not least, definitely not least, the quest for identity. Finding out who you are.
King Arthur.
The hero's journey.
Yeah, it's part of the hero's
It's
journey. But, I mean, I was looking at examples of finding out who you are.
Yeah.
King Arthur is famously unaware of his royal heritage until the Sword and the Stone.
Yeah. But I could argue that his royal heritage had mattered very little to who he actually was. Yeah, he could have been a king, but no, he found out, no, he's going to be a good king. That is more important than him finding out that he's going to be a good person is more important than him finding out he's going to be a king.
Right.
Yeah.
And for those of you who want to argue that King Arthur isn't fantasy, I'm not going to argue with you.
I would argue with the woman throwing sabers from the lake.
She didn't throw it; she just handed it.
She's lobbing them. If that isn't fantastical, I don't know what is.
So one of the things, and this is just a historical side, Excalibur's the Sword and the Stone.
Yeah.
I believe it's called Clarent.
No, Excalibur isn't the Sword and the Stone.
The
Sword and the Stone is a separate sword. The sword from the lake is Excalibur.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
So, yeah, there's two different swords.
There's two different swords.
They're not the same.
Mm-hmm.
So, I think it's Clarent.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised, yeah.
That was the Sword and the Stone that declared him to be the king. But his magic sword that would carry him through was Excalibur from the Lady in the Lake.
Right. And I would actually argue, because there's very little magic in this one, Robin Hood is fantasy.
Well, again, there's actually more argument that Robin Hood was fantasy than there is that King Arthur was.
Yeah, I would argue both of them are fantasy. Yeah.
There's the quote that every myth is based on a real fact.
Yeah.
For example, dragons.
Mm-hmm.
We saw huge lizard-like bones.
Yeah.
We think it's dragons. Or one of the stories is back in the Stone Age, a guy with a spear killed a crocodile.
Yeah.
And as the story gets retold and updated for the modern time, he became a knight in shining armor against a dragon.
Yeah, it's basically the fish story going haywire.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got a fish this big. And next time it's this big. Next time it's this big.
Yeah. The next time, the last time is that I was on my boat and the fish picked me up.
Yes. Yes.
And I talked him into biting my hook.
Mm-hmm. Now, mind you, I'm going through the hero's journey, good versus evil, power, corruption, destiny, free will. None of this includes magic.
Well, I think, honestly, to call it a fantasy.
Yeah, it is more believable when there's magic there.
Well, it has to have at least a touch of the fantastic.
Yes.
It cannot be a fantasy if it includes all of those things and it happens in the Wild West with no magic.
Right.
Not even Native American magic.
Mm-hmm. It is hard to... And I feel like Western and fantasy kind of are on polar opposites, where One is really, really gritty and down to earth. It's like, there is no magic if for no other reason than people are too jaded to be fanciful.
Right. I have seen Wild West fantasies,
Yeah.
especially with Native American magic thrown in there.
Mm-hmm.
Or Native American monsters thrown in there.
Yeah.
But a fantasy that fits every one of those themes without the fantastical is not a fantasy.
Yeah.
It's like doing sci-fi without electricity.
True. Speaking of sci-fi, let's get into sci-fi. Okay. So science fiction novels are speculative stories with imagined elements that don't exist in the real world. Some are inspired by hard natural law sciences like physics, chemistry, and astronomy. Others inspired by soft sciences like psychology, anthropology, and sociology. Common elements of sci-fi
is science.
Includes time travel, space exploration, futuristic societies. So the themes are generally the impact of technology.
Right.
Yeah. Be it good or evil, this is one of the reasons why I'm not going into is it a dystopian sci-fi or a hopeful sci-fi. Both of them are dealing with the impact of technology. Profound societal commentary. A lot of times connected to the impact of technology. And the endless frontiers of discovery. And I found that one interesting. That endless frontier of discovery is important to sci-fi.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I remember there was one science fiction show that I loved. I wish there was more of it. Didn't deal with space at all, but it was very much sci-fi, and it very much had impact of technology, profound social commentary, and endless frontiers of discovery. And that was the one show where instead of a spaceship, it was a submarine. I forget exactly what it was called.
Say that again?
Instead of a spaceship, it was a submarine.
2000 Leagues Under the Sea.
No, it was a different one. Although that one, I would say, is absolutely sci-fi as well.
No, it definitely was sci-fi.
Yeah.
War of the Worlds.
Mm-hmm.
There is a new television series.
Mm-hmm.
Can't remember which channel it's on, like Apple or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
One of the far-off ones. But it is set in the correct setting, the correct location, and the correct year as the original book.
Yeah.
Which means it's in England in the Edwardian era.
Oh, nice.
It was written in 1860.
Mm-hmm.
60s.
Let me see if I can find this show. Because I remember one of the characters was a dolphin.
Are you talking the cartoon one?
No, this was live action. Sequest.
Sequest, yes. Well, the name Sequest was coming to me.
Yeah.
But I thought it was a cartoon.
There's also Sea Lab 2020.
Sea Lab, yeah, that's it.
And that was more comedy.
All right. First science fiction novel about man on the moon was written in Greek by Lucian of Samosta, a Hellenized Syrian writer 2,000 years ago.
Yeah.
No electricity, though. But
no harnessed electricity. No harnessed electricity.
Yeah.
Actually, I don't even know about that. Okay, so hear me out.
Yeah.
I know that when it comes to ancient history, there is still a lot of lacking information, and there are certain things that I've come across that makes me scratch my head.
Yeah.
So, for example, there are, and correct me if I'm wrong, this may be me adding fantasy into my history, that ancient Egypt had batteries.
Yes.
Yeah.
The question was, what did they use them for?
Right.
One of the theories was for a religious experience.
Mm-hmm.
You grab the two things and you feel the touch of God. And I'm having a heart attack.
Yeah.
Well, it's supposed to be low level, so you weren't having a heart attack.
And I believe around the age of, I want to say the Library of Alexandria, there was a city that had street lamps.
Maybe.
But not because of electricity, but I think they were pumping natural gas.
It could have been natural gas, or they could pump oil.
Right.
They had, ancient Egyptians, had a steam engine.
Yeah.
But the question was, all of these advanced technologies that they had, including a computer that could plot accurately over time the location of every star and moon and planet that they knew of.
Yeah. Mind you, I'm actually less surprised about that because I've seen, well, for example, Stonehenge is that. Stonehenge is a astronomical calendar.
Right.
Yeah.
But this computer thing could track eclipses, both lunar and solar. It can locate them. What's the farthest you can see with a telescope?
Depends on the quality of the telescope.
Yeah. But it goes Mars, then Saturn, right?
No. So, going away from Earth, we've got Mars, the asteroid belt, Jupiter, Saturn.
I think they were capable of tracking all the way to Saturn.
Okay.
They did get all the way from, I don't know if they got Mercury. They may have had Mercury.
Mercury's hard to find.
Yeah, but Venus up through...
Venus through Saturn, yeah, I think that's a pretty good scope. Mind you, Saturn is pretty big. And after getting past Saturn, you get into Uranus and Neptune, which are a bit odd. And moment of silence for Pluto.
I'm more sad for the inhabitants of Pluto. But the whole thing was that they had a working gears only, no electricity.
Yeah.
Gears and marbles that could track our solar system through time.
Yeah.
I can crank it over to 2,000 years from the date this thing was built and have an accurate representation of where the stars are, where the planets are. Like, on this day, we're in this zodiac.
Yeah.
Which zodiacs confuse me now because 12 was a number. Now it's 14?
Well, that's adding fantasy into our science.
There's an argument about that.
Uh-huh.
The other ones are there. They weren't previously identified, or they were previously identified and forgotten about?
Yeah, and I'm saying that the fantasy is the significance of the constellations.
Well, yeah, but I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about the actual number of constellations and the fact that I'm a Sagittarius.
Yeah.
And I'll die being a Sagittarius. I refuse to change it.
Uh-huh. And there's only one zodiac that is more stubborn than you.
What's that?
Mine.
Which is?
Tauruses.
Yeah, you're a bit bullheaded.
Well, I'm not going to put up with any BS.
You are the BS.
Yeah.
Anyways, the fact is that a lot of people aren't aware of that our original zodiacs that we all claim to be, I'm actually a Scorpio.
You're not a Scorpio. I've met Scorpios. I can't stand them.
But okay, now you're doing the magic part.
I know.
But as far as because of time change and location change,
tilt of the planet,
the tilt of the planet, the magnetic poles, all that stuff means that the original zodiac that we've been working off is no longer accurate.
Yeah.
Because the stars aren't in those positions anymore on those dates.
Yeah. Because, the stars move too.
Yeah. I mean, we're all rotating somewhere.
So I only really got into a few of in terms of my research, where I was able to find the themes. And speaking of stars,
Mm-hmm.
horror.
If the stars are aligned.
Yes.
Horror has been around since
Fair.
since the first light.
Yeah. No, since the first darkness.
Yeah, since the first darkness. The first night that a human experienced or a Neanderthal experienced, we have had horror stories.
Yeah. Since we could talk about our fears, we had horror stories.
Exactly.
Yeah. So, horror novels are meant to scare, startle, shock, or even repulse readers, generally focusing on themes of death, demons, evil spirits, and the afterlife. Those are all trappings.
Yeah, especially since properly read, most fairy tales are horror stories.
Yes. So, getting into the themes, and these are the things that, for me, these are the meat and potatoes. Okay, this is how you get that feeling. Okay? Vulnerability.
Yes.
Isolation.
This is why when you're doing a role-playing game with a group of people, you have to encourage them to have buy-in to the concept of fear. They have to allow their characters to be vulnerable.
Yeah.
And possibly isolated. Don't split the party is great as a survival thing. Don't split the party is horrible for scaring your players.
Yeah. And this is one of the reasons why, we were talking about me and horror. I have a problem with that buy-in. I don't like being scared.
Yeah.
Do I like scaring people? Yes. It is not a two-way street for me.
Yeah. You're pure masochist, no switch.
Oh, no. There's no masochism in me.
Oh, I'm sorry. You're pure sadist, no switch.
Yeah. Without the connotations of sadism, I care about people. I'm compassionate. I'm not going to hurt someone without consent.
Well, see, that's, again, another misunderstanding.
Yeah.
There are two types of sadists. There is the Marquis de Sade.
Yeah.
And then there are people who work in a consensual framework, and they are sadists for the sake of the masochist.
Yes. But we're not getting into some of the intricacies of BDSM and that, community today.
But we can do that with my role-playing games. I got it right here.
So we have, after isolation, we have fear of the unknown.
Yes.
Yes, which is going to, get very well, into, one of the topics that I have coming up, asynchronous information.
Yeah.
Yeah. The unexpected. By the way, jump scares are cheap.
No. Jump scares are free.
Yeah. Survival instincts.
Yes.
Loss of innocence.
Definitely.
Supernatural forces. It's kind of, I don't know. I think you can do horror without supernatural forces.
Well, come on. Have you ever seen a slasher movie?
Yeah.
No supernatural. Chainsaw Massacre has no supernatural in it.
Yeah, but Jason is considered a slasher movie as well, and he's entirely supernatural.
But that is a horror that leans into the supernatural.
Yeah.
But as you were stating, you can do horror without
supernatural. I absolutely agree. Retribution or revenge.
Yes.
Especially from the protagonist's point of view.
Well, and a lot of times from the monster's point of view. The monster was the one that was wronged.
Sometimes, yes. Yeah. Psychological turbulence.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Some more than others, because there are psychological horrors, body horrors, and all these other various different horrors. Some of them deal in the psychological more than others. I think they all have to have a psychological element. Yeah. There's no fear.
Yeah. If you're not hitting the psychological, then it doesn't matter what you're doing.
Exactly.
Yeah. I'm actually going to skip J because I'm going to come back to it.
Okay.
Because social commentary. Again, yes.
They're supposed to.
Yeah.
Some of the Jason and stuff, it was the teenage promiscuity
Cross community and
and drug use
Mhm.
will equal your death. So, yeah, it's almost as bad as Reefer Madness.
Yeah. And the reason I'm going to social commentaries, you notice so far in every single one of these, we've had some type of social commentary, which kind of gets into the idea that some people have been saying, you can have art without politics, and I do agree it is possible to make art without politics, but
Especially if you're a child.
yeah, but it is incredibly hard not to, because a lot of times you've got a message, you're talking about something that's worth talking about. A lot of times, some type of politics is going to get into that, including social commentary.
Well, I would definitely agree that there's been a lot of art with, especially classic art, that had no politics behind it. Landscapes and
Don't say portraits.
I wasn't going to say portraits.
Yeah, don't say portraits. And I wasn't expecting you, but for anyone who's thinking portraits, no. Portraits were a lot of times portraits of wealthy people to show status. And basically, like, this is my portrait, this is my property. So yeah, politics were involved with that too.
Yeah, I was going more for landscapes, still lifes. You can do a still life with having no politics whatsoever.
Unless it's a flower.
I'm going to disagree with you.
Well, the flowers being evocative of vaginas and the feminist movement. Yeah.
It depends on the flower.
And it depends on the artist.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sunflower usually isn't considered feminist.
True. Death and transformation. For horror.
Well, yes.
Chaos and disruption.
Yes.
Overcoming evil. Sometimes.
Most of the time.
Yeah.
There's been horrors like was it The Revenant? And the primary horror was that bear.
Mm-hmm.
He wasn't evil.
No, he wasn't. But there's also like House of a Thousand Corpses where no, there is no overcoming that evil.
Right.
Yeah. The House of a Thousand Corpses series, like, yeah, no, there is no overcoming that evil. The evil wins at the end. But speaking of the House of a Thousand Corpses, going back to the one that I skipped over, the monstrosity of human nature.
Yes.
Yes.
Even the H.P. Lovecraft cosmic horror,
Yeah.
where the human is insignificant, but the people who are bringing these horrors are out.
Yes.
They're not accidentally leaking out. They're there because somebody was seeking that knowledge and power, and they usually lose in the end.
Yeah, but even just the protagonist having to witness what they're watching other people do in times of desperation, or sometimes despite the desperation, or that's sometimes the horror.
Yeah. In
that the fact that we as humans are capable of this.
What was that one? It's one of the most famous Lovecraft stories. Dagon is the primary monster.
But it's not the Mouth of Isthmus. Is it the Mouth of Isthmus?
No, Isthmus is the location.
Yeah.
It's not Mouth of.
I'm thinking
Madness.
I'm conflating my H.P. Lovecrafts.
Yeah. But the Innsmouth look, the village of Innsmouth, they weren't evil.
No, they were just unsettling.
And trying to survive, but also trying to bring in fresh blood.
Yeah. And I know that one.
Unfortunately, that graded on the unwilling.
Yeah, and I believe that one, it's getting into some of the problems with H.P. Lovecraft, where he was depicting Italians.
I don't know if that was the case. I mean, he could have been depicting Polynesians, as far as I know.
Yeah. Well, it's one of the issues with when we deal with H.P. Lovecraft, where there is quite a bit of racism in there.
Well, I think the better term for it,
Mhm.
because this is more accurate, xenophobia.
Oh yeah, he was.
He was afraid of anybody that wasn't him.
Oh yeah, he was one of the. I will give H.P. Lovecraft this a couple of things about him. One, it is my understanding that near the end of his life he started making amends, but that does not explain. That doesn't excuse some of the horrible things he did or the thoughts that he had. But for someone who was that scared, he did a very good job of putting those fears on page.
Yes, and
Yes.
there's having been books and movies and even role playing games where the person that we think is not handling it is the only one handling it correctly.
Yeah. But mind you, H.P. Lovecraft was. It wasn't just people who was scared of. He was scared of a lot of things. He was afraid of air conditioning.
Well, that was a new science fiction thing.
Yeah.
And he was deathly afraid of the ocean.
Yes. There's a reason why so many of his monsters are aquatic based. He
And
was scared of the ocean.
but now you got to think about it. A horror writer that can tap into his own fears
Yes.
is going to be a good horror writer.
Yes.
Regardless of political or social connotations. The fact that he was able to recognize it, you say he doesn't forgive anything, but
Yeah.
there's the concept of redemption.
Yeah.
And the biggest argument about redemption, and this is not a religious argument,
No.
but I'm going to say that in Christianity, there are no unforgivable sins. There is the argument that the only unforgivable sin is suicide because you can't apologize after the fact. Apologize in advance of the fact doesn't change the act.
Right.
If you look at Xena, Warrior Princess,
she was a warlord before the show started. She did unspeakable crimes before the show started.
Yeah. There, under her watch, was murder, rape, exploitation, slavery,
torture,
all of the things, and yet she finds and actually gets to heaven.
Yeah.
By the end?
But she went through an entire arc, basically her entire series, where she's learning humanity, learning to be a better person.
Right.
Yeah. Despite having the very dark, past.
So, but there are people that would argue that there are acts that are unredeemable. And which actually is unredeemable acts are in the eyes of the beholder. What they mean is unforgivable.
Yeah.
As opposed to unredeemable.
Yeah.
Pedophile.
Yeah. I was there. There's a couple that, and I have an entire talk that I can have about the concept of taboos, where I feel like there are some taboos that are just cultural, and there are more universal taboos, and pedophilia falls into those universal taboos for me. I don't know of any culture where abuse of children like that isn't considered horrific.
Well, there are and were. There are cultures where a 13-year-old, that was marriage age.
Yeah.
And that was normal. Nobody thought of that as pedophilia. Pedophilia was anything prior to menstruation.
Yeah.
Prior to the gonad drop. That was considered pedophilia.
Yeah.
And we had, in American history, a long history of legally defined as not pedophilia, but the age of consent.
Yes.
Some places it was 16, others it was 14. But it wasn't 18.
Yeah, and I know that we've got a history of that, especially United States. I'm more talking about the very young ages, and this is not me, trying to side with pedophiles. Absolutely not.
Right.
Yeah.
I think in most cultures, anything prior to the age of puberty
Hmm.
was taboo.
Yeah.
But puberty can start as young as 12.
Hmm. I've seen puberty start as early as 11, but that doesn't excuse
That's a
anything.
modern thing.
Yeah.
The fact that nowadays,
Hmm.
today, as in 2026, a 17-year-old having sex with a 17-year-old is considered pedophilia if you're 18 or older.
Yeah. It really really gets messy for me, and this is the most important thing. And I came across something with the Aztecs,
Mm-hmm.
right, where they had laws where a lot of the crimes were based off of power dynamics, and I feel this is where it really comes into it. An adult like you and me, we have certain maturity and understanding, and context that children just don't have.
Right.
Right. That is a power dynamic that we have over them.
Well, the other power dynamic
Hmm.
exists even in people of the same age,
Yeah.
but their job position
Hmm.
or their role at the college or
Yeah.
whatever gives them any level of power over the other one. Male to female, female to male to male. Doesn't matter what the
Yeah. Teacher to
mix is.
student, boss to employee.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's position to position. If one has more power than the
Hmm.
other one, then it is very possible
Hmm.
and almost expected to be abuse.
Yeah. Because it's kind of hard to have a relationship like that without some inherent coercion from just the presence of the power without even leaning on it.
Well, which is funny too, because I have seen in real life scenarios
Hmm.
where the person who wasn't in power
Hmm.
because of their position and or age was the person in power. They're the one who initiated.
Yeah.
They're the ones who controlled the relationship,
Hmm.
and the older person, the person who was supposed to know better, is along for the ride.
Yeah. And I wish we had more time. I would love to get into the dynamics of power, but that's going to be on another day.
Hey, that's another topic.
Yeah, that's an entirely another topic.
The point was, before we go in in the depth of the psychology and the mathematics, is redemption arcs.
Yes.
And what can your character be redeemed for?
Yes.
I have a player, and I haven't allowed this for the longest time.
Hmm.
We're starting this new campaign in Eberron, which is a cross between fantasy, steampunk,
Western.
and Call of Cthulhu, Western and
Call of Cthulhu.
and H.P. Lovecraft, all
Just
in this.
throwing everything in the pot.
It's a beautiful blender of ideas and concepts, and one of the players is going to play lawful evil.
Interesting.
And I said, you can try.
You can try.
Here are the potential conflicts.
Hmm.
And a great story,
Hmm.
a good story is you get to the end.
Yeah.
A great story is you find redemption along that path.
Yeah. That actually reminds me, the first major campaign that I ran from first level to about 17th level, I told my players, you are allowed to play you're allowed to play evil characters, but I made them understand one thing, and one thing important. Okay? I don't care what your alignment is, but by after playing with these other characters around you for, let's say, 2 to 3 sessions, I expect a certain amount of loyalty. I don't care if you're evil, you're gonna be loyal to, at the very least, to your other player characters. Didn't want backstabbing.
Oh yeah, I told them the backstabbing just wasn't allowed, and the fact that evil people can be good to their select group.
Yeah.
Dr. No loved his cat.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hitler,
Fell in love.
and
Married.
well, but beyond that, but
Yeah.
he was also he was good to animals.
Yeah.
Just not humans.
Yeah, and he also very much put in a smoking ban, and he got the transfer on time. Still a monster.
Yes.
Still a monster.
Well, see, that's the other story.
Yeah.
Could you have written a story where the villain finds redemption? You can have an NPC. This is just an idea I'm throwing out there. You have an NPC villain.
Yeah.
He is the story's antagonist.
Yeah.
Can you create the story that by the time we get to the end of the campaign,
Yeah.
that he is redeemed?
I think that's possible.
I know that in our Saturday campaign, our paladin would try.
He absolutely would. And my necromancer would be right there helping him because she cares about people as well. She's right now conflicted about the troglodytes.
Well, yeah, one of the things is that in some stories, you don't meet the big bad until much later. By the time you meet him, it's too late for a redemption arc.
Yeah. Yeah. So, after this, we have Traps and Riddles.
Traps and Riddles followed by unboxing.
Yes. So, after these messages, we'll be right back. Welcome back to the RPG Talk Show. We're going into Traps and Riddles. What do you have for me today?
Well, the good news, it's not a word puzzle.
Thank God.
But
Thank God.
You still have to think.
I'm not worried about thinking.
All right. So this scenario is scenario number 7. 7 by 5.
7 by 5.
Yeah. Of course, I also have to point out this is Challenge of Champions 5 by Jonathan M. Richards, artwork by Andrew Hu and Arnold Zhang, cartography by Rob Lazzaretti. Dungeon Magazine, March 2004, issue 108, volume 18, number 3. Each Challenge of Champions is a series of 10 scenarios designed to test the leadership, adaptability, and cohesion of the adventuring group. The scenarios are equally difficult for everyone, regardless of level. The rules are as follows. 10 members must wear only regular clothing. Any weapons, armor, gear, or magic items needed for the scenario will be provided. Spellcasters can have no spells memorized or prepared. All spells used in the contest will be cast through rings of spell storings, wands, staves, etc., as this allows all spells to be cast at the same level and negates any advantage higher level casters have over lower level ones. Familiars or magical companions are not allowed in the contest. You may request a hint for half points. Team has 15 minutes to accomplish each scenario, and we're doing that as a real-time 15 minutes. Any game rulings needed will be using the Core 2024 Dungeons and Dragons rule set.
And I found that even when we're a bit more relaxed, I'm either getting it or I'm not.
It is. It's a flip of the coin for a lot of these.
Yeah.
And some of these, you, get the idea right at the last second.
Yeah.
Some of these, you never get near it.
Right. Yeah. I did not appreciate it, and I know it's not something that you could control, that last time it was a word puzzle.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a word puzzle. They were flipping the language on me. Okay, so, my characters, I've got 4 of them.
Yes.
We've got Michael Wild Dog Surion, who's a champion fighter. All of these characters, by the way, are 4th level for the purpose of game rules. Joannie, the Firehearted Nyzanthar, who's an evoker wizard. Geraldine Golden Dawn, a life cleric of Spokane, the Greyhawk god of sea, weather, and navigation. And last but not least, Scotty Quickflash, a thief in the local guild.
Are you ready?
No.
Okay. We'll do it anyways.
Yes.
A guild wizard named Scarlupio proctors this scenario. He leads you through a door and up to a blank wall. against which leans a 15-foot ladder.
Mm-hmm.
On the floor of your feet are two 10-foot boards, a small bag, a 5-foot length of silk cord, and a staff. The bag is a Tanglefoot bag, and the staff is a staff of fire, explains Scarlupio. Now,
Mm-hmm.
a Tanglefoot bag is like a glue bag. It has entangling growth coming out of it, and it will latch onto things.
I've always seen it as, and this is of a third edition thing. I felt like it was a big old glob of glue that came out, and
well,
I really wish that fifth edition had some of these old, third edition, chemical substances.
Yeah,
more than just a alchemist fire.
I would agree.
Mm-hmm.
I miss Tanglefoot bags. They were a great carry-around trap with you.
Oh yeah.
Now, I believe that the other equipment should be self-explanatory. Wizard points to the top of the ladder, which you can see leads to an opening in the wall. When the scenario begins, you'll have to climb to the top of the ladder to see the layout of the area you'll be dealing with.
Mm-hmm.
I'll give you the basics, though. You'll be crossing a roughly 25 by 35-foot room to get to the exit door on the far side.
Yeah.
Naturally, there will be obstacles in your way, not the least of which is a layer of brown mold that covers the floor of the room. Careful with those boards, too. They're only strong enough to support two of you at a time.
Mm-hmm.
Now, Scarpolio tells you the command words to activate the Staff of Fire's three main powers: Burning Hands, Fireball, and Wall of Fire. With that, the scenario begins.
May I actually take some notes before the scenario? Because I feel like this one I need notes. Do you have a pencil that I can borrow? Or pen?
Of course I do. Here's a pen.
Okay. I know that this is. I'm going to flip this over, but I'm going to write my notes on the back of it.
Okay. Now, what do you? Are you just asking for clarification of what he said?
No, the equipment that I have.
Okay. Equipment you have is two 10-foot boards, a small bag, a 4-foot length of silk cord.
Hold on, 4-foot rope, silk
cord, and a staff. The bag, of course, is the Tanglefoot bag that I told you about.
Tanglefoot. Supports 2 staff, and that has the fireball.
Fireball, Wall of Fire, and Burning Hands.
And Burning Hands. Okay. How many charges does the staff have?
Enough.
Enough? Okay. And I'm going up against brown mold.
Yes.
So I have... Okay.
You understand your equipment?
Yes, I understand my equipment. Anything else I'm going to have to roll for.
Yep. Ready, set, go. Flip the map.
Okay. I'm going to flip the map.
When the first person climbs up.
First person climbs up. And this is what I'm looking at. Oh, wow. Okay. Let's see here. So...
Just so you know, because you can tell that these boards these posts are 4 feet apart.
Okay.
And
posts are 4 feet apart.
Yep. There are 35 columns. They're 1 foot wide at the top, 14 feet tall with a 4-foot gap between each. The entire floor of the room looks like it's covered with brown mold, some 5 feet thick.
Okay. You said the posts are 4 feet apart, 1 foot to,
In diameter.
In diameter. Okay,
Can you see why I didn't want to build that one?
I can understand that.
I'd have to go out and buy dowels.
Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is, I'm going to say that Scotty, because Scotty is, more exuberant, is going to be the one that runs up, sees everything. Joannie, you're going to want to take a look at this, and when she goes up there, she's going to be conferring with Geraldine.
What? Yelling down to her?
Well,
not you don't have to yell. You're only 15 feet off the ground.
Yeah. What do they know about brown mold?
Well, brown mold is cold.
It is cold. May I make either an Arcana or Nature or something check to see if
it'd be Nature?
It'd be Nature. Okay. It'd be Nature. So Geraldine is going to make this call, this roll.
Okay.
She's actually trained in it. Or is the +2? No, Joannie is going to. Joannie has a +4, but Geraldine is trained.
Difficult.
Can Geraldine give Joannie advantage?
Yes, as long as she's trained.
Yeah. Okay. That's what I'm going to do.
And no, nobody can have guidance.
Oh, no, it's not a spell I have access to. Thank you. That is a 22. I rolled an 18.
Okay. So you know that brown mold is extremely cold.
Yes.
And it will absorb the heat from any source it can get, which includes sucking it out of humanoids.
Okay.
And we're not talking it's cold in here. Oh, I just died in here. It also reacts very badly to fire as it absorbs the fire and grows.
That's what I was afraid of. Okay. That's what I was afraid of. I wanted to know if that, staff was actually going to be useful to me. And it does not look so.
Might be, might not be.
Might be, might not be. So, while she's looking around, with the exception of the brown mold, I just need to get across.
Yes, just get to that door.
Just get to that door. Okay. That ladder that I'm on, we're gonna come down. Can that ladder move?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, how long is that ladder?
15 feet.
15 feet. I'm going to add that to my equipment. Okay. Is the brown mold only down at the bottom? Or is it on the...
It covers 5 feet of the floor. So
5 feet.
5 foot deep, and it covers the entire floor.
So it's not on any of the pedestals.
Not on up. Not higher than 5 feet.
Not higher than 5 feet. Okay. Okay. So, I feel like I've done this before.
You probably have done similar.
Yeah. So, we are going to have Scotty go back up. We're going to switch positions. And 4 feet of silk rope. Let's see here. 10 foot. Let's see here. Because I've got to basically get 4 people across. Okay. Let's see here. How long does Tanglefoot last?
An hour.
An hour. Okay. this is what I want to do. I want to... the wall, by the way, the wall that is up there, how wide is that wall?
How wide is it?
Yeah. Is it
It's
something...
wide enough that you could stand on it.
Okay, comfortably?
Yeah.
Okay, so...
Unless, you're 12 feet tall.
Okay, so everyone's going to climb up and, seat themselves on the wall so they're nice and comfortable. They're not dangling their feet into the pit where the brown mold is.
Okay.
Okay?
Now, mind you that, yes, you could stand there carefully, but you could not stand two people like one in front of each other.
Mm-hmm.
One of you is going down.
I understand that. I understand that. We're bringing up everything.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? And we're reminding everyone, unless it is an absolute necessity, we're probably not using that staff. We're also going to be bringing up, now that everyone's up, we're also bringing up the ladder. And we're going to use the 4 feet of silk rope to tie one of the boards onto the ladder to, kind of make it more secure.
Okay.
Okay.
How much space are you giving up?
I'm overlapping.
Right.
Yeah.
But are you overlapping 2 feet, a foot, 5 feet?
Oh no, I'm only using the 15 feet of the ladder.
Right. But
Yeah.
you're tying a board overlapping it.
Yeah. So see if I've got the ladder.
So you don't have 25 feet.
Yeah, I'm not asking for 25 feet.
Right.
I'm asking for 15 feet. I'm trying to make sure that I'm removing some of the rungs so it doesn't slide out.
Okay.
Yeah. So I'm putting one board and tying it so that my idea is to be able to use the ladder and place it on the what you call it, the pedestals,
Mm-hmm.
and then not slide.
Okay.
Yeah. So I'm using the rope to secure the board so that I can do that.
Okay.
Okay, that's going to use one of my boards. The other board, is there a way that I can attach it to the ladder with the tanglefoot bag?
You certainly can try.
Okay, so I'm going to take the board, splash the tanglefoot bag onto it.
Yep.
And use it as glue to the other side of the ladder. So I've got a ladder.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I've got the board reinforcing one side. I have a board reinforcing the other side.
Okay.
Right. And I'm actually going to flip it so that they are both kind of relying on.
So the boards are the support
on the bottom
of the ladder.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. So now I have 15 feet. Okay.
Well, you have 15 feet if the ladders are all the way underneath it. Are you doing it? The brown and black are your boards.
Yeah.
The red one is your ladder. Show me the amount of overlap on each of these. You're doing straight across.
Well, the boards are how long? 10 feet?
10 feet.
Oh, in that case, just 5. So
okay.
That will give me an additional 5 feet. Well, an additional 10 feet. So that'll turn the ladder from
into 25
feet. Into 25 feet.
Okay.
Yeah. So this contraption is now 25 feet.
Got it.
Okay. And we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 times 5 is 35?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
It is 35 feet from the wall to the back.
35 feet from the wall to the back. Okay. So, we are going to have, we're going to place it down, and with 25 feet, we can get to, basically just short of 25 feet, just short of 10 feet to the back.
Okay.
We're going to start from the far right, because the door is on the far right, and we're going to have one person, walk over so that they're 10 feet away. Okay? Let's say that is Michael.
Okay.
Okay. Once they're over, we're going to shift over, and we're going to have Joannie.
So you guys walked all the way to the right wall?
Yeah.
Okay. So you're now directly in line with the door.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay. And we're going to be moving back. The same thing that Michael did, Joannie is now going to do to the next post. So now I'm moving everyone 25 feet over.
I need you to give me. We just want to check those knots.
Uh-huh.
So give me a survival check on tying those knots.
Okay, Joannie is going to be making. Is she even good at that? Who's good at survival? Who is the best person I have at survival? It's Geraldine. Geraldine is going to be making that survival check. 14.
Okay. That is successful.
Okay, good.
Barely.
Barely.
No, wait a minute. It's a 15.
It's a 15.
So there's a chance it'll come undone.
Okay.
But you don't know that.
Okay.
You think it's good.
I think it's good. So this is also one of the reasons why we're, having it rely on the board as opposed to it being the. I'm trying to work with gravity here.
Well, gravity will hold. The way you have it overlapping,
Mhm.
gravity will actually hold it to the boards.
Yeah.
So the tying is just a little extra. But you
Uh-huh.
also glued it.
I glued on the other side. Yeah.
Well, so you have the two boards like this,
So I have.
and the ladder under here. If you hit the pot right here in the middle where the two boards meet, that will seal them all. If you put it on the other end, it doesn't seal it to anything because you made it so that it overlaps.
Okay, in that case, yeah, that's what I'm doing.
Okay.
Yeah. I figure I've got enough tanglefoot to use quite a bit of glue.
Okay.
Yeah. So just trying to make this contraption as secure as possible.
Okay. And this is a 20 foot?
25 foot.
25 foot. Okay.
Yeah. So the idea is to get all 4 people onto individual posts.
Okay.
As close to the door as possible.
Okay.
Okay. Once the last person has climbed over, they're taking the contraption, and they're going to shift it over so that they can move the last 10 feet.
All right. So I am going to need pause this for half a second.
Uh-huh.
Because you have 4 seconds left. If you guys all want to stand on posts, I need everybody to make a balance check.
Can I have them sit instead?
You have to get to them. It's a 1 foot thing like that.
Okay.
Once you succeed on the balance, you can sit, you can stand on your hands, but you have to make the transition to the posts.
Okay. So everyone has an acrobatics check.
Yes.
Okay. Let's do it. I was doing it in order. Scotty's the last one. So let's try. Acrobatics.
You also are going to have to jump, but since it's only 4 feet, your minimum standing long jump should be able to get everybody there without a roll.
Jump? I don't know why I'd have to jump.
Well, it's 4 feet over, and you're going to have to step over, at least, stretch your legs for 4 feet. But it doesn't matter. There's no roll to get to the posts.
Okay. So, Michael. 15.
Succeeds.
Joannie. 4.
Falls in, and and is declared dead and frozen.
Mm-hmm.
Or smothered. Your choice.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well, both. Next.
Geraldine. Also dead.
Okay.
3 total. Scotty Quickflash. 13?
Yes.
Okay. So, the tool on the far end.
Mm-hmm. I'm going to start the timer again, so tell me, how do you finish this?
Okay, well, we lost 2.
Go ahead. You lost 2.
Okay, I feel we can, even losing 2 people, moving this contraption that's 25 feet,
Sliding it over.
sliding it over, and just, hypotenuse, climbing over to the door, you know, either getting to the door or getting to a post near the door, and getting it to actually no, going to get this contraption to Michael, who's the closest. He's actually going to be able to get to the door.
Right.
He climbs to the door, uses the contraption, and then angles it towards Scotty for Scotty to climb on and climb on.
25 feet of board is going to take you some strength. So roll a athletics check.
Michael's doing this. 16.
16.
Yes.
Okay. He succeeds.
Okay.
Now, that worked.
It's not the solution.
Well, it's not the solution that would have kept everybody alive.
Uh-huh.
First of all, hand me the 2 pieces.
The two pieces? These?
Yeah, the boards. Okay. Yeah. This, as you were doing it, actually gave you, that right there is 20 feet. If these are 2 10 feet apart.
Yeah.
10 feet. That's 20 feet. A gap of 5 feet gives you 25. What you should have done is all the way over here, all the way over here. Now how long is it? If we say we only took, say, 5 feet total, 2.5 feet by 2.5 feet. Now how long am I?
That's about 30 feet, or 35 feet. Well, 10 feet, 20, and 15.
Minus 5.
Minus 5. 10, so...
That's 30 feet.
That's 30 feet.
30 feet. That almost gets you all the way across by itself.
Yeah.
No glue required. Gravity will hold it in place. Then, over here, you use the glue bag to glue the staff down. So it can't move.
Okay.
And then you just all walk across.
See, I didn't want to possibly break that staff. And even if we survive the fireball that comes out of it, I'm expecting that the mold goes everywhere.
Yeah, so player 1 climbs the ladder and describes what he sees. Player 2 climbs the ladder carrying one of the 10-foot boards. Player 1 places the board from columns A1 to C1, which is a diagonal. But you were smarter and you went all the way to the other end.
Yeah.
So you're not trying to get that extra length. You're just going that way.
Yeah, just going straight.
Yeah. And you place the board, step onto it. PCD climbs from column A, places the board from columns A to 2. Player 3 climbs the ladder with the other board, board 2, and passes it to PC2 at the top of the ladder, who turn passes to PC1. PC1 places the board 2 across columns D2 to E3 and steps on it. PC2 steps on board 1, and PC3 moves to the top of the ladder. PC4 ties one end of the cord to the end of the staff of fire and the other to the tanglefoot bag. then climbs the ladder with it and passes it down to PC1 as well. PC1 wields the staff like a fishing pole to place the Tanglefoot bag on the top of column E5, then slams the end of the staff onto the top of the bag, bursting the Tanglefoot bag and cementing the staff of fire in place across columns E4 through E5. This is all describing doing it at the diagonal, which means you don't have to go so far.
Yeah.
If you do the other way. But climbs on D4, PC2 places on board to PC4, standing in the doorway, pulls up the ladder. PC3 and 4 maneuver into the room, passing it down the line to the PCs, who place it across the cemented staff of fire and the open doorway of the exit. So now it's holding the ladder. Because you don't need it anymore for the back row.
Yeah.
And open the doorway to the exit. The PC1 crosses the ladder. Everybody follows in return. Nobody has to make any rolls. Nobody falls to their death.
Because no one was trying to balance on one of the pedestals.
Yep.
Yeah.
Now, you could have literally just went across without any objects. Then you would just need a DC 10 for every post you had to walk.
Yeah, I was trying to minimize the amount of rolls that I had.
Oh, I completely understand.
Yeah.
I'm just saying it technically could have been done.
Yeah.
If for any reason you had more than 2 people on a board, Scarpulio would have used the spell Shatter to break the board.
Yeah.
And then you would have a DC 20 acrobatic check not to fall all the way in.
I'm actually going to double check something. 1, 2, and 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah. It's 10 feet. 10 feet. 2, 3. I could have gone from just the end. Okay, that last column, because we could just shuffle over. Okay. Oh, no. There's... Getting to the... Am I reading this incorrectly? I'm going to show everyone this.
Okay.
Okay. I'm looking at this right here. Is that a diagonal up onto the...
I'm going to say no.
No? Okay.
Because the entire scenario doesn't make sense if you have to use the ladder to go up again.
Right. Okay. So that is 10, 20, 5, 10, 15. Yeah, it just would have been... I technically, what I could have done was board from the wall, across 2 pedestals, board again, across 2 pedestals.
That's 10 feet across.
That's 20 feet across.
20 feet across.
That's 20 feet across. Put the ladder down. That's the last 15 feet. I'm just 5 feet short. Jump check.
Yeah.
All I have to do is make a 5 foot, and everyone has a strength of at least 5 feet. Of at least 5. When I say that, I overthink things.
Yeah, you had you had 35 feet of crossing space without using the pole, mainly because you weren't doing diagonal.
Yeah. But I was afraid of the ladder slipping down.
Well,
between the rungs.
The description, I completely understand, but according to the solution, you don't even have to worry about the ladder falling through because you can place it on there. If you're worried about it, you glued the ladder to one of the posts, or like it says in the description, you glue the rod down.
Well, as I said, I wasn't trusting that rod. Considering the amount of red herrings you've sent me. Do you blame me for not trusting that rod?
You really should have tried the fire.
No, I shouldn't have.
All of you dead.
Okay. So, that was... What was the hint?
Oh, the hint was that the ladder is more useful than just ascending heights.
Yeah. That was gonna waste my time. I'd already, done that.
Yeah.
The Boy Scout is like, oh, don't tell me what I have. What is physically available to me?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
If you weren't smart enough to realize that the ladder was a potential tool, you deserve to fail.
Well, no, it not deserve to fail, but it's a learning experience at that point, and sometimes I feel with these.
Are the girls mad at you now? Because you dropped them in there?
I didn't drop them. That was their own skill. And technically it's one guy and 3 girls. Because I've stated Scotty Quickflash is a girl.
Oh yeah, I keep forgetting that.
Yeah. She doesn't like that. She's very, very insecure about her femininity. She wants to be seen as a woman. But she wasn't named Scotty. No, she was named Scotty. She didn't get to choose her name.
Got it.
Yeah. Okay. What do we have after this?
Well, now we get to do the very fun unboxing segment.
And I believe we have an interesting unboxing.
Yeah, we got a couple of things to unbox.
Yeah.
First of all, this isn't technically an unboxing because I didn't get it in a box.
Yeah.
Or a bag or anything, but it was wrapped in bubble wrap.
Yes.
So,
we agree that we definitely want to show this on screen.
Oh yes, definitely.
Yes.
So, I'm starting a new campaign. I technically started it yesterday, but it's going to be. We didn't get very far into it.
Yeah.
So we're going to really get it kicked off next week. And one of the encounters is you come to these people.
Yeah.
That are tied together and, up against a giant 50-foot long cannon.
Yeah.
And then 2 monsters each monster looks like 2 goblins forced into one.
Yeah.
So they got double mouths and all that kind of stuff. They do their final whatever to it. And this flesh melds and warps until it makes kind of a flesh sculpture of a scorpion.
Yeah.
Now, at first, this was the mini I was going to use. As you can see, it's got the right flesh tones.
Yeah.
It actually has the appropriate look to it.
It is more than passable.
It is. And this is what I was about to use. And it would have worked. It would have evoked the look I wanted. But one of my old players, who's now my son's dungeon master on Tuesdays, he decided to make me one.
I love this thing.
The flesh sculpture scorpion. Is this?
Give it a good turn around here.
Yeah, we want people to see this in all of its glory. Is that in a flame?
Let's see here.
I can give you more flame.
Let's see here. There we go. It just needed to focus.
Okay, well, here. How's that?
I'm waiting for the camera to focus here. Let's see here. Come on. Let's get this behind it. There we go.
So the tail has a silver spearhead.
Mm-hmm.
And as you rotate it around, you can see...
This looks like a true monstrosity.
Yeah.
Although, because this is the type of thing that needs to be used more than once.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I have agreed that I am going to stat this thing up for your Saturday game.
Well, what's really fun about for my Saturday game, because I know none of my players watch my show.
Well, by the time they encounter this, well, it'll be if they're hearing this, they've encountered it already.
That's a good point.
Yeah,
That's
there's
a good
that.
point.
Because this is pre-recorded, and yeah, it's going to be maybe about a couple of weeks before they see this. Yeah, I'm going to be setting this thing up.
It's going to be fun.
A couple of things that we've agreed on. It's going to be a CR10.
Yeah, it was designed to attack first level characters.
Yeah.
But I'm going to be using a more advanced version against 10th level players.
Yeah, and I took a look at the stats that you gave me from the module that you're working off of.
Yeah.
And in cross-referencing it, realized that it was basically just a repurposed gibbering mouther.
Right.
Which isn't a bad place to start, but that doesn't evoke gibbering mouther to me.
No,
I'm going to be starting with there.
it definitely evokes something more horrific than a gibbering mouther. This evokes terror.
Yeah.
And because I'm playing with Call of Cthulhu rules against my players, they will experience the terror.
Yes.
But we're not playing with those rules with the level 10 characters. But let's see if the players can roleplay appropriate to seeing this coming at them.
Yes. And I'm going to make sure that you have enough worthy tools on that stats, for it to at least be something that they want to second guess.
Oh yeah,
because I'm already thinking. Well, we have to. I want to reference some scorpions. Okay.
Right.
Have to absolutely utilize that tail. The tail is going to be the piece de resistance.
It's obviously got a grapple because its forward hooks are made out of
people,
2 or 3 arms apiece.
Yeah.
And its legs are literal people legs.
Mm-hmm.
And the fun part is that the other players have no idea of its abilities and or resistances and stuff like that.
Well, that I have to design, and I have to make it. I know how our party works. I do not want to metagame against the party, but I do want to,
challenge them.
I do want to challenge them. So we know that it's going to be an aberration.
So is it too much to ask it to be
immune to radiant damage?
Yeah.
I do feel it'd be. I feel like that would be metagaming.
Aww.
But
it would really force somebody to pull out another blade in their Swiss Army knife.
Yeah, I do want to see what I can do about that, though.
Yeah, well, I trust you. You'll create something fun.
Yeah.
And we will...
I will say this much. That aberrant ground that the gibbering mouther has...
You should stay.
It's staying.
Yeah.
It's staying.
And then it's not affected by that.
Mm-hmm. Although there was blinding spittle that's on the gibbering mouther. I want a ranged attack. But...
It could be acid.
I'll have to play around with that.
Yeah, maybe some kind of stinging acid that hurts round after round.
You know what I may do?
Mm-hmm.
Because I'm thinking about keeping the gibbering. What if it's an auditory, the gibbering gets weirder? Because all of the bodies are starting to scream, and now it's like, a thunder attack that's, well, he likes his...
Oh, a thunder wave would be a good thing if it's high enough level version of it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, all the gibbering turns into a single scream for...
and it has a burst of, say, 30 feet.
Yeah. And then, they have to roll... he has to roll to redo it, just like other creatures' big attacks. But
what if does damage, half on a success. If you fail, breaks concentration.
Yeah. Yeah, I like that.
Okay. Yeah. Good. I'm going to borrow this.
You do that. Take your notes. You got your photos. You got the old stats.
I'm going to call it Gibbering Whale. Some damage.
We,
Or do you want psychic damage?
Psychic damage is good. Because that's why it breaks your concentration.
Yeah.
And you can't put in earplugs to save you.
Yeah.
And psychic is more appropriate.
Especially for aberrations.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, you're dragging out the cruel DM in me.
I think that we should put this up as a monster. Use the format. Use a photo of this guy as the picture on the thing. So put it in the player's handbook thing.
Yeah.
And we'll put it on Patreon.
I will absolutely. Yeah, we'll put that on Patreon.
If you want the stats for the finished monster, we're going to put it on Patreon.
Yeah. Mind you, we're going to test it first. I'm going to collaborate with you, make sure that it looks fine. But I have a couple of websites that I go to that are pretty good at balancing things already, and this is going to be a CR10. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. It has to be a challenge for 6.
Yeah.
You know what? Because a CR10 means 4. This is 6. This should probably be a CR11.
You want me to bump it to a 12?
Yeah, sure. It's got to be high enough that 6 level 10s will experience
some pain. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. I will work on that after the show. Okay.
Automatic. No, I don't want you to add this, but it's just a stupid idea that I came up with.
Really?
Because it's such an aberration and thing, it's an automatic turn undead.
Oh, I don't like that.
Undead will not even come near this thing.
Yes, I like that. It's an abomination even to undeath. Okay.
Whoa.
There's a reason why some of my players have called me the evil one. Okay.
All right, let's open the next box.
Yes.
This is our monthly dungeon in a box.
Yes. We've got the Wondrous One Shot.
And it won't be too long before we get our Dungeon Crate 1.
Yeah.
Anybody who wants us to open additional ones, you can send the boxes.
Oh, we will open just about anything as long as it is somewhat connected to role-playing games.
Yeah. It should be a little more than somewhat.
Yeah.
It can't be a... Well, I don't know. Should we accept comic books based on role-playing games?
Yes. You're asking...
The comic nerd.
No. From one comic collector, because I know you are, to another, you're telling me not to accept comic books?
No.
I'm about to take your comic book, your comic nerd card.
You can't, because it's hidden in the bottom of my comic book collection.
Yeah. In that case, I'm going to say that I'm going to invoke that it has mold on it. And it's not in it, and it's not in its sleeves. Someone touched it without gloves.
Where's my gun?
Oh, wow. Oh, that hurt. Okay, so we got Wondrous One Shots. Let's see what we've got inside of here.
Blue paper, and I'm going to say right now, it looks empty. The box looks empty.
Yeah.
I think there's more in there.
Well, I called you a dice goblin the other day. Here's your dice.
I'm a dice goblin boss.
Yeah.
No special numbers on it, but it is a nice color.
Mm-hmm.
And it has really easy to read, clear dice.
Oh, yeah.
That's good.
Rolled a 13.
Lucky me!
Yeah. So, we have in here, we have a Dance of Snow and Shadow. I think this was the love story that we're...
For Valentine's.
For Valentine's Day.
It's a little late, but hey.
Yeah. Happy New Year from a Dungeon in a Box. An ICD-20 is included in this box. So that's the ICD-20.
Now, just to clarify, though, technically this did get here in time for Valentine's Day.
Yeah.
We had some production problems that delayed the opening till after.
Yeah. And honestly, if you have to wait on Valentine's Day to show the people that you love them,
then you don't.
No, then you don't. Valentine's Day should just be one of the additional days. Always show love and compassion to the people that you care about. So, we have some Valentine's Day cards. And they have some horrible, horrible, horrible puns on them. I wanted to ask you out.
Yeah.
Uh-huh. Let's hold mage hands. I can't get ogre you. Be my Valentine. And nothing mimics your love.
Now, is that, what does it say on the top right-hand corner?
This?
Yeah, Valentine's cards 2 of 3.
3. So I guess there's 3 versions, and you got 2. Well, number 2.
Oh, so I could have ended up with different ones.
I'm assuming that.
Yeah, I thought hopefully that there was more cards in there, but no, that's fine.
What do you mean? There are more cards.
You did? We had the full collection.
1 of 3.
You're a hoot!
Jinx. Let's see here. We have... It's hard for me to read in here. Your friendship dwarfs the rest.
Okay.
Uh-huh. My love for you is no illusion.
Oh.
Aww. And I must be a gelatinous cube because I will always want to be around you.
It sounds slightly creepy.
It does. Honestly, though, any Valentine's can sound creepy.
In the wrong context,
In the wrong context. Or just the wrong tone. Are you a rogue? Because you've stolen my heart. You give me inspiration.
That's a good one.
Be my +1. You're a critical hit.
Those are fun.
These are all fun. Very punny. I love them. I love them all.
All right.
Okay. So, we have skinny minis, and I feel like these will work really well for if you're doing any Fae court, especially the winter and summer courts.
Yes.
Primarily, I think the winter court.
Right. If you're not doing Seelie versus Unseelie, you're doing winter versus summer.
And generally, I think Seelie is considered the winter court. Winter and darkness.
Correct.
Yeah. I'll worry about that. We've got some skinny minis.
Mm-hmm.
We've got a large base.
Well, no, that's a huge.
That's a huge base. And there is something hidden behind here. Because I can see the wings. So.
It's Cupid after binging.
I want to say this. It's Cupid after he's realized that despite giving everyone else arrows, he doesn't have his own Valentines.
Yeah.
So we have. It looks like we've got some ice golems.
Let's put something darker behind that.
Yeah.
Here. Call of Cthulhu always makes Valentine's better.
Funny. Oh no, let's try that.
Bit of glare, but
yeah, there's a bit of glare, but it looks like some golems and various NPCs.
Yep.
Let's see if we've got some names. We've got Grace Duelist, Grace Duelist 2, Murti, Kalda, Antha, Aster, Khalil, Evander. They look romanceable. All of them.
Some of those golems look like I could use them if I had to for Eberron.
Yeah, and when I say they look romanceable, I mean all of them.
Including the golems?
Why not?
Well, chafing?
You just use proper protection.
Okay, let me see that. I just want to see that.
And speaking of romanceable, Aster's aspect. I'll do a turnaround for you.
Okay. Wow.
And yes,
he's a big boy.
And he is sparkly. He is absolutely sparkly.
Let's put it this way. Remember the large monstrosity?
Yeah. He is huge.
Yeah.
He is huge.
Borderline on gargantuan.
Yeah. He may be gargantuan.
On a huge base?
Maybe.
We'll have to find the stats on it.
But
look at this shiny.
I know. That is pretty. If that isn't Fae, I don't know what is. I always feel like, all Fae should have, or at least Fae would be the dominant group that has glitter and sparkles.
I said a pun yesterday, and I told it again to my wife.
I'm sorry for your wife.
I'm going to repeat it right here.
Oh, you're
only because
2
out of 3 times I didn't really get a giggle. So I got to try one last time. The player is a elf.
Uh-huh.
And they collect teeth.
Yeah.
And I said, "Oh, isn't your character gay?" And he's like, "Yeah." "So you're the tooth fairy." You giggled. I caught you.
Yeah. That was worth a giggle. Okay, we've got a map.
Maps are always good.
Yeah.
I have so many maps, and it's amazing that because of the collection, I can usually find a map that works without having to draw anything.
Mm-hmm.
That is great.
This looks like a winter court.
Mm-hmm. It's got all the right winter colors.
Mm-hmm.
It's definitely got some magic going on in some of those corners.
Yeah. And then you actually have 2 more maps here.
Now, those are obviously 2 separate places.
Yes. That's why I said 2 other maps. But they're smaller.
Mm-hmm.
Got that.
But
and then we have
3 maps right there. The only time I complain about having 2 maps is when I'm looking for one specific one.
Yeah. Yeah. I feel like I want a module, a story where we can really go into the Winter Court.
Oh,
because the closest I've gotten is Wild Beyond the Witchlight, and that doesn't really feel like Winter Courty enough to me.
Well, that's definitely Summer Court for most of it.
Yeah.
But there are plenty of ideas out there that we could probably write a Winter Court. Hey, write us at info@rpgresearch.com, subject line talk show.
Yeah.
And tell us, do you want a patron module written by us for the Winter Court?
That's an idea that we could have.
Mm-hmm.
Start producing some content, more than just the talk show.
Yeah.
Okay, so Dance of Snow and Shadow. Adventure overview. Dance of Snow and Shadow is a romance fantasy-themed adventure of flirtation, drama, and danger for a 6th level group of 4 to 6 adventurers. It can be integrated into a ongoing campaign or played as a standalone session, which is interesting because we were talking about genres. We never got into romance.
Well, again, one of those romance along with horror is always best when it's blended with another genre.
Yeah, but I do feel though that it is difficult to have RPG, your standard fantasy RPGs with romance being a major theme, without it being either like, okay, well, the players aren't really involved, they're helping someone else, get into a relationship, or it starts getting creepy.
Well, that is why we have the consent form.
Yes.
And I give them out to all my players, so I know what they're comfortable with. And I usually let my players push the romantic part.
Speaking of which, right there on the 3rd page, I don't care how many times you have to beat this drum. I love it. Romance, consent, and boundaries. They have it right there.
Yeah.
Yes. This adventure invites romantic relationships and roleplay between players and the game master, but the foremost goal is to ensure everyone is having fun and feels supported before the play begins. Talk openly about comfort levels with romantic content such as flirtatious dialogue, physical affection, and emotional conflict like jealousy, betrayal, and heartbreak.
Now, when you talk about physical affection, I would like to remind people what that means in this content is physical romance or contact between consenting player characters. The characters. There really shouldn't be, even if you're two consenting adults, public displays of affection. Unless you're at a private game.
Yeah.
And everybody agreed that this is a LARP.
Mm-hmm.
And why don't I get invited to those LARPs? Anyways, moving right on.
So, there is, I'm not going to go further into that, but I laughed like that right front and center, they have consent.
I like the artwork.
Oh, the artwork is always beautiful.
I've never seen bad artwork from this company.
Adventure background. In the plane of Fairy, each court is governed by a noble steward called a crown keeper. Upon their coronation, a chosen fae's heart and soul become bound to the court itself, creating an unbreakable link between their emotions and the court's welfare. That is interesting.
That's very fae.
Yeah. The absence of a crown keeper can lead to catastrophe in the material realm. I love that right there and then. Ooh, that's interesting. Lord Corgiver, the former crown keeper of the Winter Court, was a cruel and callous individual. His sole obsession was Queen Cassina, the high fae ruler of the Plane of Fairy, and he would stop at nothing to possess her eternally. Yeah, we're getting creeper vibes here.
Yeah. So the closest we have to a fairy source book is one module.
Yeah.
But I would love to see a full reference. There are others by other companies.
Mm-hmm.
There are even 5th edition ones by other companies. I would like a historically accurate Feywild.
See, okay, it's going to be, you love your history.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. What I want is, I want a proper Feywild adventure where it really taps into that neither side, Seelie or Unseelie, can really be trusted.
Yeah?
Yeah, that is what I want. Where there is differences, there is conflict, but you're realizing that you're dealing... what I want an orange and blue morality in the Feywild.
Well, yeah. They are not going to be black and white.
Right.
They're not even going to be shades of gray.
Mm-hmm.
They're going to be the entire rainbow with shades of gray, black, and white.
Mm-hmm. Now, when I say orange and blue morality, are you familiar with that?
I've heard the term before, but I think it definitely needs to be explained for our audience.
Yeah.
And, I could definitely use a reminder.
So, orange and blue morality go, it's not reversed. It isn't our morality reversed. It is a morality scale based off of different standards. So let's use Fae, for example.
Mm-hmm.
A common Fae that people know about are dryads.
Right.
Right. Let's set up a morality scale for them. What is considered good and evil to them?
Well, good is protecting the forest and the areas around them.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe keeping a promise?
I would say, let's make this cold.
Yeah.
Does the forest grow or not? Does it, expand or not? Exactly. They don't care how. And they don't care who's
Anything that inhibits the well-being of the forest is evil, no matter what it is.
Yeah.
If you're just trying to survive by getting wood, you had better be picking up already fallen pieces.
Right. If anything that damages living trees in their grove is a crime.
You come up to a tree and carve in JW plus CW.
That's assault.
I might not get past the plus.
Yeah. But they will work on anything to make the grove grow, even if it's now encroaching on other people's lands.
Or, fertilizer's fertilizer.
Yeah. So that would be orange and blue. Well, that'd be orange, for example, or blue. The counter would be, let's say that you've got another fae. Let's say that let's do a nymph. Okay.
Yeah.
Let's do a nymph. Nymphs, unfortunately, we don't have stats in 5th edition.
No.
But generally, they were connected with bodies of water.
Yes.
Okay. Let's say that this, the dryad is the orange, the blue is the nymph. The nymph cares about how clean and pure their water source is, and is their water source growing?
Well, that I'm not growing because growing in a water source would be overflowing its banks and things like that.
Yeah.
But healthy.
Yeah.
Is it healthy? Is it supporting the life it's supposed to be? An unhealthy river means an unhealthy dryad who may be getting a little persnickety about it.
Yeah. So let's say that the dryad's grove is encroaching on the nymph's pool of water.
Yep.
The nymph is now irritated that
roots are growing directly into the
exactly.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Now you have conflict. The nymph doesn't want the dryad encroaching more on its pool, and it's now fighting back. The dryad doesn't like anything stopping the growth of its grove.
I need that one.
Yeah, even if it doesn't realize that it probably needs that nymph's water. Yeah, that would be orange and blue.
Right. And I have seen lots of television shows and read lots of stories where we know that there are no classically good people in it.
Yes.
They have their good parts and they have their downright evil parts. Sons of Anarchy is a perfect example.
Oh, yeah.
But what we also have is that you can have a show where everybody's actually a good person.
Yeah.
But conflict is not about the alignment. Conflict is about resources, whether that's people or territory or profit market. It doesn't matter what it is.
Yeah.
Everybody can be good people, but they're still experiencing conflict.
Yeah.
And that's when it isn't a black and white thing. It's not based on are you good or bad. It's based on people's needs.
Yeah.
Versus other people's needs, and especially when you're dealing with limited resources.
Yeah.
Or covenant resources.
Or, and here's another one, or just the miscommunication, which is a major thing. The amount of times where I've seen two good people and they both have the best of intentions, but because they're on two different pages, there's a friction. There's a conflict.
Yeah, they're not seeing eye to eye. They don't realize that they're on the same side. Or definitely could be if they just communicated better.
Yeah, and I know that that's a bit of a trope, but that can be written well as well.
Oh, yeah.
It isn't just that they're on the different pages, they're reading from different books.
In the Cthulhu by Torchlight.
Yeah.
Instead of horror, it has passions. And these are things that drive you to do things that would not be normally safe. So you have the stairways into a dark, bloody basement. You can actually see bloody. But you hear a meow. And you grab a candle to go down there and investigate. Because you heard that kitten. That's your passion driving you. The fact that you forgot to pull an actual weapon or you could have used a real torch or a lantern, something to give you better light.
Yeah.
Now, there's also ways to get rid of passions, depending on them. So, what if your passion was getting revenge for a wrong? And you have been hunting this person down for 20 years.
Yeah.
And the only thing that'll satisfy you, the only thing that'll do is if you get your man. And it turns out they're innocent.
Yeah, there is a absolutely wonderful cartoon that I've watched that actually deals with that. Because there's a character in this anime, it is one of those where we don't know if we can call it an anime or cartoon. It's primarily Western. But for, I want to say, 3 seasons, there's a character who is driven by a certain passion. And by the 3rd season, that passion's gone.
Yeah. Because it's been resolved.
No, it hasn't been resolved. It hasn't.
Okay.
And they move on with the plot, and there's an episode where they have to relearn passion because it's integral to the plot.
Right.
Avatar: The Last Airbender.
That's a very good one.
Zuko.
Yeah.
Yeah. I didn't say he gets resolved. I never even said he was the main character.
He doesn't have to be, but it's very important to the overall story.
By the way, if you haven't seen Avatar: The Last Airbender, go watch it. It is amazing. Yes.
I'm sorry you're so young that you haven't watched it yet.
Well, I feel like there are some stories that will last a test of time. I genuinely feel Avatar: The Last Airbender is one of them.
Oh yeah, it's a great story.
Yeah. So, what do we have for next week?
Well, for next week, we're going to come back and talk about some slightly different topics.
We try a different topic every week.
Yeah. Well, try to. But next week is going to be NPCs and player character arches.
Arcs, yes.
Yeah. Now, we just talked about an example.
Yeah, we did.
So we're going to go right into that. Now, not only are we going to be talking about that, we don't know what we're going to do about our just talking yet. We sometimes don't know until halfway through the episode.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I will show you one thing. Grab me one of the hardbound books.
Oh, yeah, we didn't get to this.
Yeah, because, we went a little bit over.
Yeah, we did.
Which is great, because...
planning on unboxing this later.
Yeah, this is the Herbalist Primer.
Yes.
And it is
so good.
real-world herbalism with information on how to use it in a magical system.
Yes. Using,
don't reject it yet, real magic systems from Earth.
And there's I do not object to those, but I do know that some people can be skeptical. Well, you don't have to believe it.
So it's based on magic that people have used in real life.
Yeah.
Whether you believe it's effective or not. I create a potion that takes care of your headaches. It's kind of a tea, and the main ingredient is willow bark.
Yeah. I've found, and this is one of the reasons why I understand how some people could be skeptical, but I'm a strong believer that some of the old world method things that we used to do to remedies, some of the old school remedies from different cultures, it wasn't just placebo effects. Yeah. Why does willow bark work? I believe there is something in there that is, if it isn't, what is it, acetaminophen?
It is acetaminophen. It's Tylenol.
Yeah. I'm saying if it wasn't acetaminophen in there, it was something close to acetaminophen. Yeah. Yeah. That's how you get acetaminophen. I'm sure they got other plans, but and I've actually found that, and this is something that I've been seeing happening in. We're going to drag this on a little bit longer. I've seen happening in medicine more often is they've found that some of the things that they're doing, like for example the willow bark. Yeah. Where like, oh, we can pull acetaminophen out of it, right? But if you don't, and you have more complex remedies, So it isn't just acetaminophen, it tends to work a little bit better.
Right.
As opposed to, distilling, the one thing that they know is in there. Sometimes it's the combination of different things that helps.
Oh, for example, we have migraine medicine.
Yeah.
And it's acetaminophen,
Mm-hmm.
And
ASA,
caffeine. And caffeine.
Yeah.
ASA being acetylsalicylic acid.
Acetylsalicylic acid.
Yeah. Which is aspirin. So we have aspirin, Tylenol. No, I'm not invoking anything.
Yeah.
And some caffeine in there.
Mm-hmm.
Those three in combination works better than any one by itself.
Yeah. And that's something that I recently found out, and this was hidden behind some PMS medicine. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I think it's Midol?
Yeah.
Yeah. Where it's Tylenol and aspirin combined with the caffeine, and it works wonders. Yeah. So that's what we have planned for next week. This has been the RPG Talk Show, brought to you by RPG Research in cooperation with the USS Spokane, the Inland Empire's Star Trek Fan Association. Comments, questions, suggestions should be directed at info@rpgresearch.com with the subject line including RPG Talk Show.
Or also can be found on Twitter, Facebook, and other locations.
Yes.
Just look for us. Next week, we've already told you what the topic is, so let's just get to next week, right?
Yeah. We're going to be talking about character arcs. So, see you next week. Good night, and
dream well.